Good morning. Hello, peeps. I am a little bit early, but only a little bit. So, has everybody been checking out the Dressmakers Ball hashtag on Instagram? There have been some amazing outfits posted already. I am very jealous. I wish I could have gone, but no, not this year. It was a sensible decision. I have my nun ties on for the first time this autumn, winter, with my slipper boots. Just an email to have gone live as well, which is nice. So yes, Lauren, I have my nun tights back on because it is that time of year again. It's currently 18 degrees down here. The coldest it's been for a while is 17 degrees in here. So when it starts getting down to like 14 degrees at night, then I think Dad will let me have the heater back in here. But yeah, currently 18 degrees. So I have my Jackie dress on in a ponte that I got from the textile centre years ago. My McCalls 7289. I think I have that number right. And I've already put it in the description of this video before I went live because I thought that would be good. So Yvonne says, morning everyone, hope you're all well. Very well, thank you. Trusting UK is here. Hello. Nimue says, hello everyone. Jokingly says, yay, I made it back. Lol, only took me 3 pitchers of juice, 5 cans of iced tea, 2 Subway footlongs, and sending my family to my wife's folks' place for 2 weeks. Lol, but made it. I did get your email the other day. It was when I was in hospital waiting for my acupuncture appointment. So I haven't had a chance to reply to you yet, Joker, please. But thank you very much for such a lovely email. I'm sorry you've been having such a hard time of it. And welcome back. And I've been waiting for this because Buttons and I went out for lunch a little while ago, and we went to Brittlesford Farm, who are a dairy farm, and they had some baby coos, and I took pictures of the baby coos to show you. Look at the baby coos. They're so cute. I didn't realise they could make themselves so small. There was 4 of them at the front. And we just come in from having steak sandwiches, which were amazing. But yeah, it was one of those ones where it's like, I'm totally a vegetarian. But baby coos. So yes, lovely to see you. And how is everybody? Jane's here, morning all. Yes, so there was the Scottish frocktails last night as well in Glasgow, which looked amazing. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing all the pictures from all of the different events that were up yesterday. I have my hot chocolate. Thank you guys so much for watching the video that I put up on Saturday, the wrap dress pattern video. I'm genuinely surprised I've only got 9. And I even went back and I was like, oh, because I cut this bit out. I was like, oh, I'll go and grab my knit wrap patterns because I'm sure I've got about 4 or 5 of those. I have none of those. I have 0 knit wrap patterns. I have lots of other patterns that are kind of faux wraps, like the By Hand London Flora, for example, springs to mind. But yeah, I've only got 9 wrap patterns. And somebody did say, please, whenever I make a new one, please do a sew along for it. And I will definitely try and do that for as many of them as I can. The only one I haven't done a sew along for it, the ones that I've made, is the Eve dress, and that's because Sew Over It don't like you doing sew alongs with their patterns. So yeah. Nimue says it's getting colder here as well. I think I need to dig my warmer duvet out. Oh, I put my winter duvet back on about a week ago now, I think, on Monday, because we have our bedding laundry collected on a Monday every 2 weeks, because we no longer have, well, we do still have the giant washer dryer that was in my Shan shed in the last place, but we don't have anywhere to actually install it in this house. So currently they're wrapped up tight off the ground, and we're just hoping that they're surviving, because we are going to extend our laundry, like a utility room, and hopefully put the giant washer dryer in there. But we've only got like the front loading ones, which is fine, but it's mum and dad have a super king size bed, and they have a lot. They have like a duvet and then a flat sheet and then a fitted sheet and then all the pillowcases and stuff like that. And then I've got a king size. So, I mean, we could obviously alternate, but mum's friend was like, oh yes, no, I have my bedding laundry collected and done, and they bring it back pressed. And I think it's £17 for all of us to have all of that done, because it all fits into one giant laundry machine. So £17 every 2 weeks is actually probably cheaper than the amount of times that it would take us to put it through the laundry here, through the washing machine, because it's at least 4 loads, if not 5. And then obviously the tumble dryer as well. So it kind of just made sense. And it comes back pressed, which mum loves, because I just cannot with like pressing my bed sheets. Like, no. But yeah, mum does do that. But yeah, the laundry got picked up on Monday, so I put my 15 tog duvet back together. I didn't even go for the like middle level, the autumn duvet. I was just like, nope. I can always put a leg out if I get too hot. Chris says, good evening from Australia. Good evening. Catherine says, morning. Good morning. Jojo says, morning all. Hope you're all fabulous on this lovely Sunday morning. Yes, very good. Thank you. How are you? Joker Clee says, getting slightly cooler here too, but the forecast isn't really showing it yet. Lol. Oh, I have my hot chocolate. Mim says, hello everybody. Hope you're all well. And very well, thank you. How are you? Joker Clee says, we used to have front loader till it died on us about a month ago, but hey, it was nothing that $2,500 in cricket boards and wiring wouldn't fix. So new top loader it was. Lol. Wow. Ouchie. Yeah, I miss my big Maytag. They were. Well, they are. They're still, like I say, they're out in the garden. So fingers crossed they have survived. Nimoy says, when I moved out, my mum insisted I move out with my laundry. Her only exception was my duvet cover. She said she'd seen me trying to dry them draped over doors and furniture, tumble dryer for the win. I mean, yeah, totally. So yeah, it's a very indulgent well, it's not even an extravagance. Like I say, I do think it actually is cost effective having our bedding laundry done. They come and collect it and they drop it off for us, and that's all part of the price. So yeah, and it's very nice because you can't, like I say, it's all ironed when I put it on my bed. Not that I care about that, doing it enough to do it myself, but it's very nice to have it. Catherine says, I think I survived 4 months after marriage without a tumble dryer in 1997. Had one ever since. Chris says, what are you wearing today, Shan? I've got a Jackie dress on and the McCalls 7289 shrug. It was part of my 5 essentials that I couldn't live without. Oh. Joker Clee says, yeah, the California King duvet was a real load for the front loader for us, along with the fancy thick mattress topper, which I should reinstall again at urgent request of my back. Yes. Jennifer says, good morning, peeps. It feels autumnal here in Newcastle as well, but I'm going to carry on with my summer sewing. It will be here sooner than I think. And Mim says, how was your week with Jo? She's arriving on Wednesday. She's arriving on Wednesday, and I don't know if she'll be up for it or not. I think her and Buttons might end up sitting in the corner and giggling during next weekend's live hangout and like heckling, wasn't it? Statler and the Muppets. You wanted to sit in the corner and heckle Jojo. So yeah. Catherine says, oh yes, Panini, 0 out of 100. Do not recommend. Oh, you poor thing. Are you feeling better now? Are you feeling slightly better? I hope so. Still haven't uploaded the Zoom call for next. Waldorf and Statler. Thank you. Yeah, still haven't uploaded the Zoom call details. I'll try and get it right this time. I did, however, do the twirls and take photos of the floofy dress that you can see there, and I really like it. It's turned out so well. Although, I don't know if you'll be able to notice in those pictures, but it is drop-waisted, which was a happy accident because technically this was a wearable muslin. Of course, I go ham and like do insertion lace and like nonsense on a skirt of a wearable muslin, but I'd made the lining for the red one to the waist length, and I kind of knew it was slightly too long, but I was like, it'll be fine. Yeah, it's better for it to be slightly too long than slightly too short. So I just went ahead with this one. But the weight of this skirt, this dress is heavy. There's only 4 meters of fabric in it, plus a lining, although I went for a very basic rectangular gathered lining underneath of it. Because otherwise this lace here was literally at crotch level, and it's like, yeah, no, nobody wants that. So the skirt of this is really, really heavy, so it's ended up dragging it down. But the nice thing is that it still goes in at the waist and then comes out again. So I kind of, when I looked at the pattern pieces, I kind of knew I should have just taken that ½ inch off, but never mind. But yeah, the weight of the skirt drags it down. So this one is an inch, it's a drop waist, but it looks really cool. And I think that's actually a happy accident because I want to wear dirndls over this. And I think that the dirndl that I want to wear, I want to try and make it as tight fitting at the waist as I can, bearing in mind that it's going to have a zip, and an invisible zip. So it can't be like smaller, like can't have negative ease because that just won't work. I won't be able to do it up. But not having all the gathering that you can see there right on my waist is going to actually work really well under the dirndl. So it was a happy accident. But I went to edit on Friday night after I'd finished sewing it. I went to edit the footage for the sew along for turning it into because this is the 8177, so same as the red one and the maxi dress. I've got a photo of that. Did a lot of photo editing last night as well. Do I have a photo of that? Did I not? Did I not? Do I not? Oh, well, that's stupid. Well, I have made a photo of it. I just don't have it on here. Let's see if I can put it on here. Are you going to work? Oh, no. I've only got it. Oh, that was stupid. Never mind. No, there it is. There it is. There it is. So put that into there, and then eventually that should catch up and make it its way over to my phone so I can show you. But yeah, I went to start editing the sew along for turning it into this dress. So putting the strap and the sleeve on at the same time and putting in the waist seam and making it into a zip back dress. And I deleted the beginning of the process because it was in the red sew along video, and as soon as that's uploaded to YouTube and then put into my external hard drive, I delete it from Final Cut Pro because my laptop's only got a terabyte on it, and I'm always hovering around that, like, you have no room left on your laptop margin. So that had gone, but that was fairly easy to refilm if I needed to. Well, I do need to, but it's fairly easy to refilm. But then I've also done the thing where I think my camera is just having a bit of issues at the moment because I'm usually really good at it, and this is the second time it's happened in quick succession, and I've never done it before. But I thought I'd recorded something, and then I put the camera down and I'd recorded another 24 minutes at the top of my table. And that was a crucial piece of the sew along as well. And it's just like, so I was going to do a whole, like, this is how you do it. These are the mistakes that I've made with this one. So it's a happy accident because it's worked out well for the purpose of this dress, but this is how I would change it for next time. But now that I have to make another one, and it's not the end of the world because I really love this dress, I'm going to do it properly the first time around. So yeah, but I have filmed a review, a pattern review of the 3 that I've made so far and how the pattern compares and the instructions are. So fingers crossed that's interesting. We shall see. Let's see. Nimoy says, that's gorgeous, thank you. Mim says, also pretty, thank you. Joker Clear says, ooh, fancy, me like it, thank you. Caroline says, good morning, happy Sunday. Got the laundry done and on the line, nice. Catherine says, has shades of Edwardian lingerie dress that Bernadette Banner made for her Mary Poppins cosplay? Yes, 100%. Except mine was 100% machine sewn, and I, because of the type of lace I've got, it doesn't have a flange on it because it used to be actual fabric and I cut it apart. So I had like literally an 1/8 of an inch tolerance to sew it to the panels. So that was fun. Yeah, I got there. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. Jojo says, hi Mim, I'm not there yet. I travel on Wednesday. And yes, if Buttons is up for a comedic team up, I love a good cheeky heckle. Yeah, next Sunday's hangout is going to be interesting. Yeah, Grace says, hey Peeps, hope you're all well. I'm sick and feeling sorry for myself. Good to be distracted by a live stream. Oh, you poor thing. Many gentle hugs for you. Catherine says, how things have changed. Only a terabyte. I know, right? I know. I could have had 2 terabytes, but it was an extra £400 on top. I'm actually looking at replacing this one because my laptop is dying, and they have finally released Final Cut Pro for the iPad Pro. So because replacing my MacBook Pro is about 4.5 grand, replacing it with an iPad Pro with the biggest hard drive on it, which is 2 terabytes, is just over 3,000, and that includes the keyboard with the Mac trackpad on it, the pen, and all of cellular data, as well as Wi-Fi, and the biggest amount of storage on it. So I like, it's the completely top of the line iPad Pro, but it's still like nearly £1.5 grand cheaper than replacing my MacBook, which is dying, which is fun. I do have a desktop which I can use, and it does have Final Cut Pro on it. It's even older. That's 10 years old now. My laptop's 5 years old. I was supposed to be replacing it in October, but this year has not gone according to plan. But never mind. So yeah, I'm hoping that this will hang on until I can replace it with the iPad Pro, because I think that's the next thing that I'm going to do, is rather than get a MacBook Pro again, because the MacBook Pro at 4.5 grand is not even the top of the line one you can get, because you can get up to, I think, 4 terabytes on a MacBook Pro, but that ends up being about 5.5 grand. So it ends up being like way more than is even remotely feasible. Like 3,100 is too much. And if I kind of hate myself for going down the Apple route, because I'm really tied to it now. You can't get Final Cut Pro on anything other than an Apple product, which is really annoying. And I have tried Adobe editor, and it's completely backwards to the way that Final Cut Pro, and I've been using Final Cut Pro for what, 6 years now, 7 years. So, well, 5 years, and then iMovie before that. And I mean, that's how I started, was filming on my phone and editing on iMovie, which is a free software that comes with your laptop. And that worked really well and did everything I needed it to. And then I just, like when I upgraded this, I purchased Final Cut Pro, which was 300 quid. And, it does more. I'd learned everything I could and had done everything I could with iMovie. And so it's nice being able to do the things that I can do. And I'm only scratching the surface with Final Cut Pro, like, honestly. But it was definitely one of those ones where it was just like, I think I have screwed myself, because the hardware, Apple hardware, is just so expensive. And you can do Hackintosh, where you put the Apple operating system and programs onto something that's not an Apple hardware product, but I don't have the expertise to do that. I don't know anyone that does, and you're really not meant to. So yeah, but they'd updated Final Cut Pro software, and there was a huge glitch in it that anytime I tried to render anything, it would turn the entire computer off. And the first couple of, and it would do it like, I tried to render a video 5 times and it would do it 5 times, and then like the 6th or 7th time it would go through. But for the first time that happened, it was like, my laptop is dying. Like, oh no, this is what I do for a living. It's like, this is not good. And like I say, the schedule was to replace it in this October, but that's not going to happen. So it's going to be next October. So it just needs to hang on for 1 more year. Just 1 more year. You can do it. So yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's see. Mim says, oh, then I'm wishing you all, Joe, Sean, and Buttons, a funny, wonderful next week. Yes. Okay, I've finished this. Let me go and put it by the front door, because otherwise I will forget it and it will end up growing. We've talked about this many times. It will end up growing a Vindaloo monster, which we don't want. We do not want. I said I wasn't going to buy any more stretch fabrics because I already have like all the stretch dresses that I'm ever going to do, but I really want to make a Jackie dress in the scuba crepe that I get from Fabric Styles in the bright red. I think that would be epic. I do think I need to do that. And it's only $7.99 a meter, so yeah. Lisa says, good morning, Sean. You look lovely today. Sending love from deepest, darkest Devon. Good morning, Lisa. Is it still morning? Just, yes. Jacob Clee says, nothing like a little precision machine sewing to wake a person up and give them a nervous twitch for a couple of days thereafter, lol. Gin and Pin says, I had to do a test at work this week. 2 people I work with went off sick. 1 flew, 1 panini in the end. Mine negative. My first computer had a whole gig as a selling point. Ooh. 1 whole gig. Yeah, I remember my first laptop was teeny. Jojo's laughing at Joker Cleese. Gig Racer says, I've been contemplating an upgrade to my laptop, also thinking of placing my MacBook Air with an iPad Pro. I mean, it basically, the iPad Pro is now like the original MacBook Pro, I think, looking at it, but it has the touchscreen and the drawability on it as well. There's something called Paperlike, which is a screen protector, but it also helps you use the Apple Pencil like it is an actual, it feels like a drawing experience, like actual paper. Everybody raves about it. I've been doing my research, so I want to get that as well. And I also think that that would be really cool because the editing experience from the things that I've seen of people using Final Cut Pro on the iPad, it's much more kind of quick and intuitive because you can use the pencil to drag and drop and cut and then actually animate and draw on the screen as well. And I just think I think I would be able to do some really interesting videos with that. I had planned to purchase an iPad earlier this year in January. And again, I'm glad that I didn't because it was only recently that they've released Final Cut Pro for the iPad Pro. So I'm really glad that I didn't, because I was going to spend £900 on an iPad earlier this year. And I'm so glad that I didn't. I'm so glad that I waited. So yeah. Yep. P. Gracer says, I'm back studying, so can claim the cost on tax if I do it sooner than later. Not that I'm justifying it anything. I mean, I think tools like that are multi-use and lightweight enough to be literally mobile computers are worth it if you have the kind of lifestyle or job or study that, you know, like it will make your life easier. So yeah, don't think you have to justify it. I think it's one of those things that's just like, this makes sense. Do the thing. Not that I'm trying to maybe enable you so that I can enable myself. Jacob Cleese says, I'm guessing that Farm's going to be buying me my next laptop, and it's going to have extra hard drives for storage given how many pictures the rest of my family takes. Lol. Caroline says that's why Jamie said he would disown me if I ever went down the Apple route. Yeah, I'm annoyed at myself, but I mean, it was one of those things that they weren't like, my first Apple laptop was expensive. It was £1,000. I had 500 gigabytes on that one, and it was the Pro, and it was 17-inch. And that thing, I was still editing on that until I bought this one. It wasn't cheap, but I hate Windows. I absolutely hate Windows. I really don't like it. Everything is backwards. So, and like I say, I've learned Final Cut Pro, so I'm kind of tied to it now, and I'm annoyed. But yeah, never mind. I still have my this is a 10X. So, you know, like I'm 5 gens behind on my iPhone, because I used to religiously, I'd buy it from the Apple store and I'd do it on their plan where you paid monthly still with no interest, and then after a year you could trade it in and get the next upgrade, and with no charge, because a lot of the time if you sign up for a phone with the phone supplier directly, usually you have like a 2 or even 3-year contract with the cost of some of these now. So I used to do that, and then it just got to the point where it was like, this is working perfectly fine. Although mum and dad were on a 6 and a 7, and they've upgraded to a 12 and a 12 and a 12 or 12 and an 11. And because they had to, because all of the apps and things that they used were just not being supported for the type of phone they had anymore. So yeah. Fox is here. Hello, everyone. Hello. I've watched, I think you saw my comment. I have watched your resin making button resin video. Words are hard. And now I want to do it too. Catherine says, no lager in the house to kill it, the Vindaloo monster. No, and we've discussed this because it's a hot chocolate. So it would be a hot chocolate milk monster. And what's I guess cookies. Although I think depending on the viscosity of the monster, it might kill the cookies. So yeah, no lager to, yeah. 600 mum says, my son gave me his gaming computer after he wiped it, and I'm storing pictures and embroidery and sewing stuff only. I do have a Windows laptop because my embroidery software for my Benina is Windows only, which I hate. So I do have one, but it's a teeny tiny, like like I say, I'd have to learn a whole new editing system, and it doesn't have the space on it that this one does. So this one is still the better option at the moment. Fun times. Sal says, "G'day, Sean and Peeps. The robe I made with the office staples was a success. I wore it this whole weekend at Comic Con and still together, even whilst being stood on a lot." Ooh, nice. Well done. Fox says, "Oh, your nails match your outfit." Yes, I went for blue. I've been going for like natural, barely there colours for ages, so I decided to go for something a little bit different this time. Joker Clee says, I may have to upgrade this to a storage server and a desktop now that I think about it. Lol. Yes. I was watching 1000. He's an art channel on YouTube, and he's bought a giant warehouse about 6 months ago now, and it's really fascinating watching him turn it from a very dirty, gross building into his like dream art studio. And he's basically upgraded to like a mini server room for his editing and things. So, and he doesn't use Mac, he uses Windows. Nimoy says, to get Grace, check what Apple is currently offering with student discount. I got to take advantage of it for my first MacBook. Ooh. Nimoy says, switch to Apple because I'm just Microsoft incompatible. Their software is getting on my last nerve, even at work, and seeing how often others had to replace their hardware, I ended up saving money. Yeah, I think for my sanity, despite how expensive these products are, The after service is really, really good. I will say that. Like, you can book a Genius Bar appointment over the phone or in person. They don't charge you for it. They will fix the problem. I've had problems where they've actually ended up replacing the entire thing. My external 2 terabyte hard drive, like Air Tower, they ended up replacing that for me because it broke. The first one of these that I bought, the R key, just didn't work. And I rang up and said, you know, like, and they were like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, no worries. Bring it into Southampton when you go there next. And so I rang up within 2 weeks of buying this. And the person on the phone didn't tell me that within a month, if there's any problems, they'll replace it. No questions asked. So 6 weeks after I'd bought it was the first time I got to go to Southampton. So I took into the Genius Bar and they told me that. And I was like, well, no, hang on. If I'd been told that, I would have made the effort to come here sooner. And so I ended up getting a completely brand new computer to replace the original one that I had because, as I say, there was a fault on it. And that wasn't problem free, but it was fairly quick and reasonably done. So the after service with this is really good. So there is that. Catherine says, guessing Mac versus Windows is very much a case of which you learn first. And once you're in one, you don't get on with the other. I mean, this is the thing. I have been a Windows girl up until, what was it? 13 years ago. Windows all the way. But I did escape Windows 8, which everyone hated, didn't they? Yeah, and I switched over. I bought because like I say, the size and the capacity of the laptop that I bought was so much better than I could get for a Windows one. And so yeah, I switched over to Apple then, and they have exponentially increased in price. But you know. Yeah. Joanna's Feeling Crafty says, I can see it's officially scuba season. Hello from miserable wet Cork, Ireland. Technically, this is actually Ponty. This is a Ponty, not a scuba. But yes, I've even got tights on because it's currently still 18.6 in here. Chilly. Caroline says to Joanna's, oh, she's taken that message away. Do you two sew? Says, hi all, time to chat today because I can't sew. My machine is being serviced after I dropped a pin in it. So deep I couldn't get it out myself. Didn't even know you could do that. New fear unlocked. Oh no. Oh, I hope they can get it back to you really quickly. Catherine says, my work has always had Windows. Caroline says, the contract for Windows 12 says they own your hardware. That's no good. Gin and Pin says, I'm keeping an ear out for my neighbour. He's kindly took a parcel in for me on Friday, then has gone away for the weekend, starting a new craft. Ooh, what have you got delivered? Jane says, drawing out a birdie cardigan pattern nearly finished. Nice. It is officially midday. So Buttons is at his brother's stag do in Bristol this weekend. They hired out like a gaming lounge for the evening. It looked really cool. He sent me loads of videos of it. And he's coming back this morning. His train's at 11, so he's on the train and he gets into Portsmouth at 2. So he's coming over this afternoon, which is very nice because he's taken tomorrow off because he didn't know what time he was coming back today and he didn't want to be super hungover at work on a Monday after a stag do. But I don't think it's been that wild a one, to be honest. And he's just texted me and said, steak dinner? It's like, you know the way to my heart. Yes. Caroline says, good, time for warm-ups. Right. So I did say I was going to do muslins today, didn't I? I was going to try and do the 9182, but I don't think I am because I really do want to start work on the Berda dirndl. I was going to do that this afternoon, but I don't think I'm going to have time to now that Buttons is coming. So I'm also thinking it's time to break out the navy wool coating for a second attempt at the hemispheric coat. Now I do have a muslin for that I do think needs tweaking. Oh. Oh, it's gotten dusty. It's gotten dusty. But yeah, here is the wool for my hemispheric coat, which is, believe it or not, navy. And then this is the cotton flannel to interline it. I'm going to have to get a lint roller out on that. Now, I did have some beautiful lining from Rachel that was my Christmas present. This one. No, not that one. Come here. This, which is absolutely stunning, totally gorgeous, amazing. I have 3 meters of it. And I've got 4 meters of this wool, and I want to make a cape out of this as well. And I don't think I'm going to have enough of this lining, but I do have five meters of this satin that I got from the Gold Hawk Road. It actually has very definite stripes in it, and it's definitely directional. So I think I'd end up using all 5 meters of it. But I think I'm going to use that one to line it, and then I'm going to use this on a different project because, like I say, I'm doing a cape and a coat out of that navy, and I don't want them to have different linings. I want them to have the same lining. So I think I'm going to save this one, which is absolutely gorgeous, for a different project. I think that's the plan. My hair. So, yeah, my hair is getting slightly too long for this fringe. I think this length is actually maybe perfect. Maybe a couple of millimeters off. I'm going to get it cut on the 6th of October, which is exciting and scary at the same time. Where did I get to read the chat? Nimue says, I learned on Windows and even ran away screaming first chance I got. And ran away screaming the first chance I got. Even just writing a simple uni paper was torture in Word and smooth in Pages. I agree. I love, as much as I hate how expensive the hardware is, I do love the operating system. Well, yes. Gin and Pin says it's hopefully a drop spindle. Ooh, exciting. Catherine says, a wee thing for the geeks. There's a fun video podcast series called the Goulet Pencast. The most recent episode ended up with Drew showing off patches on his denim jacket. Oh, cool. Gig Racer says, the only sewing I've done recently was emergency sewing at 1 a.m. on Friday. I heard a commotion, found a ringtail possum dead in the park next door with babies in her pouch. Sewed pouches for them. Oh, poor little thing. Sal says, Sean, I know you to be a Whovian. Have you seen the trailer for the 60th anniversary special? Yes, I have. I watched it this morning. It looks amazing. I'm very excited. Tennant was my favourite, I think. Matt Smith second. Capaldi after that. I mean, I did watch Doctor Who when I was a kid with some of the other doctors, but I don't remember them as much. I just remember being traumatized by 2 episodes. But yeah, no, I have. It looks really good. Gig Racer says, before I called wildlife rescue, luckily I made loads of patches after the 2002 bushfires and still had some flannel and polar fleece hanging around. I believe they survived 2 babies, so yay. Oh, cool. Michelle says, good morning, peeps. Good morning. Gig Racer says to Catherine, I love Goulet pens, have followed them for years and even bought fountain pens from them before our dollar tanked. Goulet pens rings bells for me, but I don't think I've ever had one. But yeah. So yeah, what do we think of the lining choice? I think that's going to be really nice. And these colours work really well with things in my wardrobe already, because you're not going to see it with the coat really, but you will see it with the cape a little bit. I did think about maybe doing the cape in like doing the coat in that fabric and then doing the cape in a plain. But the cape is kind of like a little fun project rather than like something that I think is going to get worn loads. I think it's going to look really cool over the hemispheric coat, but yeah, I think it's more me if it has a loud lining. Really. Tristan's here. Good morning. Good morning. What Rouse says, good morning, peeps. Good morning. Nimro says, it's been a weird last few weeks. I'm more than a month behind on my temperature quilt, so that's today's project, but it smells like lunch is almost ready. Gig Racer says, gorgeous choice. Catherine says, loud linings are the best. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't have a plain navy lining, do I? Actually, I do, because I bought it to go with my tapestry fabric for the Rumana coat, and I got it from Sew Over It, but it is I mean, this is polyester as well, so yeah. So technically I do have a navy lining because it's going to go with that faux fur as well. But that's it. I think that'll look fine. Yeah. Vox says, yesterday I finally finished my Pleiades dress. After trying it out, was about to put it away and the zipper broke. Oh, I saw this morning, you poor thing. How annoying. The dress looks amazing on you, though. It's made me want to get my French poetry dresses out and give them a try. It looks really cool. Did you lengthen the bodice at all? Because I thought they were very Empire line, but it looked like it was like in at your waist and then came out. Rotten Rouse says, I'm just joining a conversation about cape lining. Yes, I'm thinking of using this one rather than the one that Rachel got me, because I've only got 3 meters of that and I've got 5 meters of this. So I can do the hemispheric coat and the cape in this. Vox says, the metal actually broke. My bad for buying cheap zipper on Amazon. I buy my zips on Amazon, but they are plastic coils. I haven't bought any metal ones from Amazon, but I do like my plastic coiled ones that I get from Amazon. Okay, Grace says, oh no to Vox. And Jenna Pin says, I did some emergency sewing on Friday, rescued a button on a work colleague's trousers. No one could believe I had sewing materials with me. Do they not know you well? Rotten Ralph says, oh no, Vox, that's terrible. For what cape pattern? The Gertie Scout capelet. I have a muslin. I'm going to try it on in a second because I do think I need to tweak the coat. So I'm going to get your guys' opinions. Nimora says, I think having fun with linings is the best. I bought a burgundy to go with my robin egg blue wool plain, but think the color combination will be fun. Very fun. I think also I want to do my flat piping thing, and I think because with the green one it was going to have to be like an emerald green, which I don't think would have stood out as well, but I think this one's going to stand out really, really well. So yeah, and I really like flat piping. I won't be able to show a hem facing tutorial for this coat because it's already built in to the coat and works really well, so I won't be able to do that. But I am going to do another coat, probably the Vogue one, the 1669, out of green wool, which I've got back there. I've got a bird lining for that one. Where is my bird lining? There it is. Hello, birds. He's hiding in with iguanas. Ugh. It's in trouble with this particular thing. It's very slippy. Look, the breeze. So yes, I'm going to do the Vogue coat, and you guys have asked for so long for this one. Ah, hello. So I'm going to do this coat. I've got forest green wool. It's going to have this lining, and I think probably again bright red piping. And I think for this one I'm going to have to draft a hem facing. I have seen a few people make this one up, and I hate how these pocket flaps look. I think they look really clunky. I don't like them at all. So I think I'm probably going to leave these off, but I'm still going to put the pockets in. but they won't have the giant flap on them, because the ones that I've seen I just don't like. So yeah, but burgies. Well, yeah. Fabwork Mills for lining fabrics. Oh, ow. Whacked me finger. Right, let's try this muslin on. I'm going to have to take this off. This doesn't fit under any of my coats. I think I'd need to make the princess coat with the lantern sleeves, because these are really thick and chunky. So I am bearing in mind that I only have a skin tight dress on with this muslin. Oh, really whacked my finger then, that hurts. So there is a short for this, but that's the cape. And my plan is to put little magnets. I bought them, I have the magnets. But I'm going to put a clasp on the cape, and this has obviously still got the seam allowance on it. So I'm going to put a clasp on the cape to like hold it closed at the front. Again, like I say, this has still got seam allowance on it, so we have to kind of imagine. But I'm also going to put magnets in here that will then correspond with magnets on the coat, that will mean that I can have the coat unzipped, but the idea is, hopefully they're not too heavy, but the magnets will hold the cape to the coat with the collar undone, because it's a zip up all the way up to here. But this has also got, and I've got my big hair on today, so. And it's going to have floof around the hood and then floof around the bottom of the cape. And I love where it hits. So I have no illusions that this is going to be a warm thing in and of itself, because it's not at all. I know this. I do recognize that. But this is my hemispheric coat. I've been threatening to make this for ages. It's been on my Make 9 so many times. So I made a muslin for it earlier this year, and then just ran out of cold weather to legitimately kind of get away with making a coat. So I did put in the facings and finish the neckline, and then draw in where this was supposed to, will zip up. So it fits really well over the bust. And bear in mind, I have, obviously this is calico, so it's sticking to the fabric underneath. But Mum pointed out it's really kind of, it's just, there's just that much excess at the back, which I don't like. But there's two really big darts and the back seam. So I think what I'm going to do is just try and take only an inch, because it doesn't look too bad, but it is a lot bigger than I am at the back. Because of course it's the back as well that's the problem. And I mean, I like a close fitting coat, and I do wear cardigans and stuff underneath of it, but I do, this is not going to be like my dead of winter coat like the green one's going to be, because also it's kind of comes to, and obviously this has got hem facing on it as well. Oh no, I have pressed that up, so this is the actual length that the coat will be. So yeah, and I know I'm just holding this one, but I did pin it in place and double check this before, and it is just a little bit big there. So I just want to take out a teeny tiny bit from there, so it's just a little bit more shaped at that area. I have put a stone on since I fitted this last time, and I think it might just be a sway back adjustment more than it is like taking anything in. So that's going to be an interesting experiment. But yeah, we've got two giant darts that actually you cut the bulk of these out. I just haven't done that because I didn't want to take the paper away in the pattern and make it more difficult to cut the wool out. But I will cut the bulk of these darts away. So I think what I will actually do is just increase the size of the darts a little bit at the waist on both sides to just nip it in that little bit extra. And I think that will work. I'm going to do it on the muslin to double check the theory. And yeah, like I say, it will obviously have a slippery lining on the inside of this. And I did make my black coat earlier this year, which my sister-in-law now has, because I erred on the side of caution and I made it too big for myself. I mean, I did lose 10 pounds from the start to the end of that process. But even like trying it on before my mum took it up to my sister-in-law's, it was just too big on me. I didn't like it. And I know coats are meant to have more ease, like 4 inches of ease in them, but it got to the point where it was just like, I feel like this thing's eating me. So my dad said, oh, it's very Sherlock Holmes with the cape. But yeah, do you see what I mean? I'm going to put the magnets in here. I'm going to sew them to the facing, and I'm going to put magnets there so that hopefully they kind of like hang on to each other, because this is a zip up coat. And so even if I have it zipped up to only there, the cape won't make a bid for freedom is the theory. And then I can zip it all the way up to the top. And again, I'm wrestling with calico, but it does fit. It's not too tight, I promise. It's not too small. At least not for the preference of how I like to wear my coats. So yeah. I think I can get, I think that might be one of my projects for next month. October sewing. Because as I say, I don't think this is going to be a dead of winter coat. I think this is going to be a kind of like autumn and spring, early spring coat. And I fully intend to lose the stone that I've put on as well. I'm back on strict keto again, because yes, all those grey dresses I made in the summer are for that slightly lighter weight me. Then this is the other one I want to try, and this is one that I'm thinking could definitely be a fantasy project. I have some black chenille curtains that I think I could make this up in as a wearable muslin. This is way too big on my shoulders because you're meant to wear this with a corset. And I traced it so that the waist size was my waist uncorseted, but that meant that the shoulders are way off. So I need to go back and retrace this. This is the Angela Clayton pattern. And also it's a good sort of like, I want all of this. This is what I'm considering the waist here. So it's a good sort of 2-3 inches above my waist. So that all needs to drop down. But yeah, I've got some black chenille. I'd make this slightly smaller, and it obviously has a collar that goes on as well. But it fits nicely over the bust, and the waist is actually, even though it's too high, it's a decent size, because obviously you've got seam allowance and stuff with this as well. And this butts up. It does with hooks and eyes rather than like having to overlap. And I actually don't mind the giant poofs, and I think when they're properly on my shoulder, but this is one that I'm thinking like making a fantasy project out of, because as I say, I have that black shirt curtain chenille with like big filigree patterns on it, and I've got some fancy lining that I could use for the main body of this, and then I could bead some of that. I could go a little bit ham on that one, and then I have some expensive wool coating to make up the proper one of this, because I think I love how this looks with this outfit, and this doesn't even fit properly over this. So yeah, this is another one that I want to try and work on. I like it. I do like it. I think it's a nice shape. It's definitely a very me shape, and I really don't mind this giant like It's not even proper Lego mutton, is it? But it's that era. So yeah, need to definitely work on the shoulder and the armhole to make it do this. And I do think I would probably make this a little smaller. But this has got soutache detailing on it, as is the back of the coat. Now, I probably won't do that because, as I say, the fabrics I've got are quite busy for it. But I can imagine having a go at some like embroidery or like motifs and things on the collars with beading on them. I think that would look really cool. Look at me, I'm actually talking about the thing that I said I was going to talk about in the title of this hangout. Who even knew? Now I've got to get this back on the right way around. That's up, that's down. I'm massively behind with the chat now as well. Sorry. Hang on, let me squeeze back into. Here we go. Yes. The only thing about wearing these cardigans with the ponte dresses is they do not slip on easily. In the scuba, it's much easier. Right, let me catch up with the chat because I'm very behind. Let's see. Joker Clee says, my wife haunts the local thrift shops for zippers of all sizes, and you'll be amazed how many she finds. I swear she's like a bloodhound for finding notions in thrift shops. Lol. Nice. Fox says, I also noticed that I used viscose and I'm wondering if it's stretched a bit or maybe it's being pulled down a bit by the skirt. I did not line it and only interfaced the seam allowance. Interesting. How tall are you, if you don't mind me asking, Box? Good Grace says, so pretty. The birds are gorgeous, aren't they? Sal says, Shan is giving us the bird. Yes, I am. Vox says, oh my gosh, that coat pattern is a good one. Lots of you guys have asked for a sew along for it, which I'm happy to do. But like I say, I am going to alter it. I'm going to add a hem facing, which I will. If I do the full sew along, I will pull that out and do that as a separate video as well as in the sew along, because I've had so many people ask for mini tutorials on that, and I did try and do it with the black coat that I made earlier this year, but it was black and you can't see anything. I mean, that was the other thing with this sew along, white on white. Apparently, it's not the one either. But yes, I am going to do a sew along for that one. Let's see. Rotten Ralph says, I have a black boiled wool for my American Duchess cape, but I'm fairly certain that I have silk of a few colours because silk. I really like the American Duchess cape, but I have seen so many people with the bigger boobs just kind of like ending up with it being very oddly fitted because they can't like pull it tight. I have the pattern, I downloaded the pattern, and I've seen a couple of people do full bust adjustments and tweaks for it, but I don't like it enough that I want to give that one a try. I think it's a beautiful cape. I love it on everybody else. I just don't think it's going to be one that works for my boobies. And I haven't really got that bigger boobies, really. So yes. Rotten Rice says, birds. Jojo says, I started making the 1669, started being the word. I traced and cut the pattern out in a honeycomb park to make adjustments easier. That was before Panini things. I haven't touched it. Thing is, before the Panini thing, and I haven't touched it since. Lol. Words are hard. I need to get that t-shirt from Evan and Caitlin. Gig Racer says, ooh, I love the cape and coat combo. That's going to look beautiful all finished. I think so too. And it's definitely the weather for it, because this is the kind of weather that I'd want that coat for, because I don't think it's going to be too warm. She says, looking at a layer of wool, cotton flannel, and polyester lining. Sal says, I like those, that's like those students in the Harry Potter movies that had dresses in silver satin like that. The Beauxbatons students. Yes. So Felicia says, hi everyone, hope you're all well. Looks like it'll be a nice coat. Thank you. Very well. How are you? Rotten Ralph says, sway back adjustment seems like the problem would be the solution. It's going to be an epic coat. Yeah. I think I'm going to do the tweaking of the dart thing first because I'm going to do it to the muslin. I'm going to tweak that in and just see if that will help rather than doing a sway back, because there are, as I say, it's the dart in the coat actually has the chunk cut out of the middle of it, so it's quite a lot of finagling to do a sway back in that, where I think the dart manipulation might be an easier fix for me. I think. Caroline says you might want a third magnet at the back. Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Like I might put a couple in around the front and back just so that it holds on at the neckline. I mean, because it's going to be slippery poly against the wool. If it was wool on wool or cotton flannel on wool, it would stick really well. But I also don't want it to stick to my clothing. I want it to be able to slip over my clothing. So I'm definitely going to do it with the lining. Joker Clue says, yeah, there's a little Homeshan feel to it with the cape and hood, but with the materials you're using to make it, I doubt anyone's going to call you Sherlock, even if you're sporting a deerstalker cap and a large Meerschaum-esque pipe. I don't know. I might need to get a deerstalker cap now. If I've got any left, I might need to make myself one out of that. Oh, I might need to follow Bernadette Banner's deerstalker witch hat, because I'm going to do a Christine McConnell witch hat. Maybe I need to try and do all the big sewing YouTube names witch hats and see which one comes out the most wearable. Oh, I was going to look and see if I could steal back some fabric that I think I gave to Mum, but I'm not sure how much of it there is to make my Christine McConnell witch's hat. Rockmouth says, I'm on the third magnet team. Yes, I agree. I bought a bunch of them. Now I've just got to remember where I put them. I will have probably put them somewhere really safe. Oh, what did I do? What did I do with the magnet? Oh no. Did I find them? Did I find them? Did I find them? I think this is it. I think I put them in a sensible box or a sensible drawer. Oh, I can't open them. The bag does not want to open. Please be magnets. I put them in a sensible place. Yes, I have a few. I love that I put them in a sensible place and could put my hands on them with like only 3 drawers being tried. I'm well impressed with myself. Marie is here. Afternoon, everyone. Just thought I would pop on and say hello. Hello. I loved your latest Joan dress with that dragon scale print upper. It was gorgeous. Looked amazing on you. Rockmouth says, definitely worth the shoulder adjustment for the Angela Clayton fantasy. Yes. And it's going to be a non-fantasy one as well. Have I shown? I think I've shown you guys the fabric I'm planning on using for that one. It's not at the bottom of the pile. It's kind of halfway down the pile. I want to add cuffs to the sleeves as well, turn back cuffs. So I have 2 meters of that and about 1 meter of that. So that's going to be the final iteration. But like I say, wearable muslin first. I also want to, so next month was going to be trouser month, but I kind of think I'm chickening out of that. So I think next month is going to be early coatmas, because I want to do this one. I want to do the Rigel bomber jacket because I've got all the stuff for it now, and you guys have asked for a tutorial for that for ages, nearly a year. I also want to try and do another biker jacket. Angela Clayton coat, the Vogue one. I obviously am not going to get all those done in 1 month because I also want to do the Christine McConnell witch's hat as well. Oh, I was going to look for fabric, wasn't I? I'll do that in a second. So yeah, maybe this one. Rigel bomber jacket's going to be really quick because it already fits me. The only alteration I need to make to that one is to lengthen the sleeves by 1 inch, and it's going to take a little bit longer to do because you guys want to sew along for that one, but it's a really quick sew. So that one's going to take like 2 days. This one's probably going to take 3 or 4 days. Maybe, oh, which should I do? I think maybe do the Angela Clayton jacket as well, because the Vogue coat is a definite winter coat and I haven't got any cotton flannel for that, and I need to buy some cotton flannel for that. So yeah, Hemispheric, Rigel, Angela Clayton, that's 3 giant projects plus the witch's hat. That's going to be October's plans. I can do this, it'll be fine. Where did I get to with the chat? Gear Gracer says, loving the idea of the fantasy coat, although if I had one that looked like that, it would quickly change from fantasy to everyday. So yeah, I think the tartany one is going to be an everyday, and then the fantasy one is going to be the black chenille curtain fabric. And like I say, I'm going to bead the collar and just go ham on it, I think, because why not? Jojo says, boobs, everyone take a shot. Sorry. Rockmouth says, my F cup bra size is definitely the problem with that American Duchess cape, and I'm working on starting the muslin. Let me know how you get on, because technically I'm an F double G as well. Depends where I buy my bras from, but I do have a very teeny tiny rib cage and back. So yeah, sorry, I'm grabbing my boobs again. Everyone, if you're drinking shots, you're going to get very pissed by the end of this one. But yeah, let me know how you get on with that, because I would be really interested to see how you tackle the wrap situation. Sarah says, I'm late. What is that beautiful floral next to you? It is the poly satin I'm going to use to line my hemispheric coat. It's so pretty. And I have 5 meters of it, and I bought it on a whim from A1 Fabrics on the Gold Hawk Road. They had it in the window, and I was just like, I need that. I won't buy it. If anyone watches Bobby Duke Arts, you know what I'm talking about. And Rachel did give me some beautiful leafy satin, but for my Christmas present last year. But I've only got 3 meters of that, and I think I need more. So I'm going to do the navy coat with that one, and I'm going to do a different coat with the satin that she's given me. That's the plan. It is the plan. Mim says, love the Angela Clayton jacket. Yeah. Joker Clee says, ooh, I love how the gears in your mind grind when they get a hold of something new. Lol. Yes. Anyone who's been watching the Patreon exclusive waffles has been literally watching me think through problems. Like the last one was just like, oh God, I can't make the video I need to make. So what can I do instead? And then it was like, I can do this. And then watching me go through like the beginning of the video going, no, I can't do that. Like, oh dear. Rockmouth says, somewhere really safe from you is where I put things. Sensible is better than safe. Yes. Joker Clee says, lol, and those really hard words are pronounced Holmesian and Meerschaum. Took me a while to get them to, but I am unpublished author, lol. I'll get there eventually. We all know pronunciation is not my strong point. Gate Gracer says, congrats on winning the Notion Location Lottery. I know, right? I mean, it's a sensible place for it to be. I'm well impressed with myself. Now, did I put the zip back in the place where I put the other zips? Are you in here, little zip? My goodness. That box isn't even labelled. I bought this one before I realised that gold was my metal colour, not silver, but it is going to be concealed under a flap, so I'm not repurchasing another one of these. Mind you, is this one going to be... Oh, well, yeah, I suppose it will be long enough, because it doesn't matter if the bottom is not... yeah, because the zip's not meant to go all the way to the bottom of the thing. Yeah. Yeah. And I have coat weight interfacing as well from the English couture company. So, yeah. Catherine says, does anyone else get an idea in their head for the sort of fabric they want for a project, then can't find it anyway? Yes. Joker Clee says, yeah, good quality Bemberg for lining unmentionables. Lol, I can't find that stuff anywhere these days. But then again, I haven't looked all that hard either. Jane says, bomber jacket and biker jackets very on trend. Videos would do well. This is a good point. This is a good point. And I really want them. I'm thinking of doing the Vogue Alexander McQueen inspired biker jacket. I'm thinking of doing that one. This one. I think you're doing this one. Because I'm going to go back to the Ziggy jacket probably in another 6 years once I've forgiven it. But I think trying this one in fabric rather than faux leather would be a good plan, because I know this block fits me really well. And I think also if I did this one in fabric rather than faux leather, because the faux leather I have is not drapey, it's much stiffer, which is unfortunate because I've got a lot of it, because I did buy it with the idea of making a Ziggy jacket, but I don't think it would be a good idea for this one because of the skirt. And I remember a couple of people telling me that the skirt on this one that they'd made in faux leather did stick out very, very much. So yeah, I'm thinking fabric for this one. And then what I would like to do at some point in the future, when I have money to burn, apparently, I'm still obsessed with that yellow Karen Millen leather jacket that I kick myself for not buying 20 years ago now. So I want to perfect the fit on this one, and the Pittard's leather is very thin. So, and Pittard's is only over in Dorset, I think. So I kind of want to make a day trip of it, and I want to have perfected the pattern pieces, and I want to go, if they'll let me, I'll phone up and ask first, but I want to go with my pattern pieces and lay them out on the skins, because I have a feeling I'll need probably 10 or 12 skins. Which is going to be around about 250, 300 quid. So it's going to be very expensive. That's why I want to perfect this first. But yeah, I want to go to Pittard's and lay the pattern pieces out as best I can on the skins that they've got, and see how many exactly I want to buy, because I don't want to buy too few and I don't want to buy too many. But yeah, that's my plan for this one, because I think I'm going to really love it. But I'm going to make it up in a much less expensive fabric first to see, because that makes sense. Let's see, where did I get to? P. Gracer says, definitely, Catherine. Still trying to find the fabric I envisioned for a coat I want to make. Jacob Clee says, sadly, I'm out of grog for taking shots at the moment. I may have to make more. P. Gracer says, at least it's suitable drinking time for me here. Not sure the shots would go well with cold and flu meds, though. I mean, you might fall asleep, but probably not in a good way. Jojo says, lol to Gig Racer. It might help you sleep, though. Crockett TP, Priscilla. Oh, I didn't even see that you put Priscilla there. I remembered. She says, hi, Shannon Peeps. Happy to catch a hangout. Priscilla, thank you. Hi, nice to see you. Jojo says to Gig Racer, lol to Jojo. True. Ralph says, I'm thinking of upswing of COVID and it's 7 a.m. So shots of Red Bull and my medicine is the only option. Lol. Yes. Sarah says, I can't wait to see the Hemispheric coat. I've been drooling over the lineup and want to see it made up before I commit. I love the light blue version that she has made and is in the sew along video. I really like that light blue version. But yeah, I'm excited about this one. I think it's going to be amazing. Priscilla says, Sean, do you have the Bonina 880? Thinking of upgrading from a 770. Mum has the 880. I've got the 830. I love my baby. I love my baby so much. I would buy an 820 as a backup machine if I could afford it, about £2,000. I love my baby. Mum really likes her 880 and she did have some issues with it. The bobbin case was damaged in transit and didn't work, so she had a whole new machine made. Because they make them to order. They're not ones that they just make and sit around for a while, so they make them to order in Switzerland. I love my 830. Mum loves her 880. I've only ever sewn on a Singer Featherweight 2 plastic sewing machine before this one. So that's my only experience is this, and I've used Mum's, and the computer system is very different, but it's intuitive. And if you've used a 770, it should be a fairly easy learning curve for you, because that's what I see a lot of people say about the 8 series is that it's really steep learning curve if you've never used that kind of a machine before. But a 770 is not that different. I think the throat space is smaller on the 770. But yeah, I love my baby. I love my baby so much. So I would say if you've got the money, yes.
Oh, Sean?
Yes, Dad?
Mum and I are going out in a minute.
Okay. Do you know how long for?
Yes. Why?
Because Paul is on the 3:15 ferry. But it's fine. He'll have to get the train if he can't. If I can't.
Well, we'll phone you, but Susan won some tickets for Sunday lunch.
Oh, nice.
So she's taking us with those tickets. What time's the lunch?
The lunch is 2.
He'll have to get the train if he wants to come. Then I'll let him know.
And we can pick him up from the station.
Okay.
Well,
okay, but we'll probably be back by then. 2, 3.
You won't be back.
But he's getting on the 3:45 ferry, is it?
3:15.
3:15, so he'll be here at 4:15.
No, he'll be here at 3:40. 3:40.
Oh, yes.
So I'll tell him if he wants to come, he'll have to get the train. Sorry, I'm still live, so everyone's getting to hear all of this.
See you later.
Yeah, no, they've now got his name as well. Yes. Alexa, hang up. Is she gonna do it? Are you gonna do it? Alexa, hang up. Thank you. Yeah, so you got the name. I mean, the only reason he's got a nickname is because everyone else has had a nickname. He doesn't mind you guys knowing what his name really is. And yeah, but yeah. Anyway, where was I? Let's see. With the I love my baby. Highly recommend. You don't need all the bells and whistles. You really don't. It's an extravagance. It really is. But it's an amazing extravagance. And if you have the money to spend on it, then I would highly say go for it, because I love mine. Absolutely love mine. Would not be without it. And as I say, I am looking for an 820 as my backup machine. And the 820, the only difference is it doesn't have the sideways action for the embroidery machine. So it will do zigzag stitches, but it doesn't have the capacity to have the embroidery unit plugged into it. So, but everything is exactly the same shape and machine otherwise, and that's why I want it as a backup, because it would be, I wouldn't need to buy anything new for the table. It would fit perfectly, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, total extravagance. If you have the money, highly recommend. Do you need it? No. Do you need all the bells and whistles? Absolutely not. But I love it. I love it. Good Graces says, oh no to Rock and Ralph. Hope the Red Bull helps. Hope you're feeling better soon. If you're looking for thin, drapey but strong leather, check out kangaroo leather. It's buttery soft but very strong. Yes, a couple of people have mentioned that to me. I will check that out, but I do think Pittards is going to be my best bet. And the what I'm actually thinking of My leather scraps are escaping. I keep all my little leather scraps in them. So I've got this leather that my brother and sister-in-law got me for Christmas, and I think the drape on this would be perfect for the skirt of that that jacket. I've got 2 of these, although unfortunately it has got sun damage on it. These are kid skin. I'm really annoyed. I've got 2 of those, and then I've got one yellow one, which is more mustardy. I would like it to be a brighter yellow, but yeah, I actually think those together look really nice, like, because you can use the wrong side as well. There's suede on that side, and then this is actually leather, but these are properly kid skin both sides. So I actually think those 2 look quite nice together, and I might end up making a bag out of it because I'm going to have to be super careful in cutting these ones because of the sun damage. But yeah, this is the kind of drape and thing that I'm thinking about from Pittards. They do thicker leathers, as Mum found out to her detriment when she bought some black to make her Horiath bag straps, because I had one black skin left from I bought some from them to make Wilson's sleeves for his Christmas present, and one of the sleeves that I bought wasn't quite big enough, so I had to buy another one. And has this one got a sticker on it with the name colour on it? No, it hasn't. Yeah, so I gave Mum that because James and Nira had bought her another skin in lobster, and so she's made her Horiath from that. But yeah, these are very, very drapey, and I think would work perfectly for the skirt of this. Like, these are some skins that I got from Oya Textiles, and they're much thicker, and so they still have drape, but they've not quite got the amount of drape that I would want. I love these. I'm going to make a slouchy hobo bag out of this at some point when I pluck up the courage. But yeah, I think my best bet for Pittards is because they're close, so it's like a day trip, and if they will let me, and I can't see why they wouldn't, because I'm planning on spending a fairly decent chunk of money with them, but yeah, if they let me, I would like to go and lay out the pieces so that I know I'm buying exactly the right amount. So yes. Let's see. Caroline says, I want to know what work does the leather offcuts from the skins that they buy for car interiors? Ooh, probably bag making, or I don't know, because I don't know how thick the skins are. I would imagine they're thicker than those ones because of the amount of wear and tear that they get. But interesting. Ralph says, I'm imagining that they will understand the need for pattern pieces in the leather. Yeah, I think they, from the interactions that I've had with them, I've bought a lot of leather from them over the years. I think they'll be totally up for it. I think they would totally understand, especially as I want to buy a very specific color. I want a yellow color, so I think it's one of those skins that they don't have loads of in stock. So I want to be able to double check that I will be able to get what I want out of the skins that they have available. So every time I've spoken to them, they've been amazing. Like when I had a problem, I bought a AAA grade skin and it had a fault in the middle of it, and it's not, accidents happen. It's one of those things. So I sent them a picture of the fault, and I was just like, you know, this is supposed to be a AAA grade, and AAA grade means that the faults are on the outside in the curvy bits, and then the center is meant to be everything is usable. It's meant to be the best of the best. So I sent them a picture of it, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Do you want to return it, or we can give you a discount on this one, and we can send out another one. And that's what I ended up doing, which is why I ended up having one skin left over from making Wilson sleeves, which is what I gave to Mum. So yeah, they've been really, really good. So I think they'd be totally up for letting me come and do that. They are a shop as well. I'm not just like turning up at somebody's like factory. They are a shop. So I think it would be something that they would do. Jojo says, just Google Christine McConnell's witchy hat. Yes, I think I need it. It's made out of window screening as well, and I found some in the UK, the metal window screening and hot glue. So I think it's like £8 for the window screening. So I don't think it would be too expensive of a craft to do. I think I can do it. Looking at her video, I think it will be doable. We shall see. We shall see. Catherine says, I'm ironing a linen duvet cover. Oh, you poor thing. Good luck with that. Rotten Ralph says, thanks, Gig Racer. The Red Bull is my 7 a.m. indulgence. And Jojo says, feels better soon, Gig Racer. And Gig Racer says, thanks to Jojo. Sal says, name drop, lol. Gig Racer said, yep, caught the name. We pretend we didn't hear it. And Rotten Ralph said, I heard buttons instead of the name. Thank you. My Singer treadle is an extravagant machine, lol. Ooh, if I had the room, I would have a lot of machines. We know this, though. It's like that thing I was saying the other day. It's like, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell anyone, but there would be signs. Jojo says, whoopsie. And I thought it would be me that dropped his name accidentally. I've double checked every time I've typed his name just in case. I mean, honestly, he doesn't mind. He got a nickname because he might have like disappeared into the ether, but I'm not sure that he's going to. So yeah, I need to let him know, actually, don't I? Hang on, okay, he's asked if I'm still doing the hangout. Still doing the hangout. Mum and Dad have gone out for lunch with Susan, which means I can't pick you up from the ferry. You'd need to get the train to Shanklin. Right, let's see what he says to that. Gig Racer says, I keep tossing up between new semi-industrial, industrial machine versus iPad. It's a tough call. Oh. Jake Lee says, Spikes Ralph's Red Bull with some Kicking Horse 454 horsepower coffee made my way when they're not looking there. That ought to get you up and going. That sounds lethal. Gig Racer says, is it bad that I instantly pictured Harath when you picked up those leathers? Oh, those silver ones are stunning too. Aren't they lovely? That was again when I didn't realize that gold was my color, but I had a Primani silver hobo bag that I literally wore to death. Do you wear bags or use bags? I don't know. Okay. He's trying to make plans. He's also on the train with a bunch of like 11 lads from a stag do. So like, you know, I'm not ignoring him, and he's got nothing else to do. Sorry, there we go, sorted. I needed to let him know because I thought if he got on the 2 p.m. ferry, then it would have not worked because he's nearly home now. So yeah. Rotten Mouse says drinks are spiked drinks the spiked Red Bull and immediately after falling asleep because ADHD brain is weird. Yeah. Nimue says, I'm back. I've been fed. Oh, we're fondling leather rather than fabric. Fancy. And I remember to bring my headphones so I can sew and listen at the same time. Nice. Catherine says, now I have achieved something for the day and it's worth it for the additional comfort level. Nice. Mim says, you dropped the button's name on the Patreons already, so half of us knew already. Oh yeah, like that's totally fine. It's totally fine. Joker Clee says, achievement unlocked. Found a donut for breakfast to have with tea. My coffee is lethal. Lol. It'll stand up and smack you repeatedly with a spoon for putting milk or cream in it. Lol. Jojo says, lol, the amount of caffeine would have me hearing colours. You guys have such ways with words. Right, let me raid Mum's stash and see if the fabric that I used for my curtains in London is there. I think it is. And if there's enough of it for making a witch's hat from. Because if not, I'm going to need to order some. Oh dear. No. Bugger. That is not enough for a witch's hat. It is annoying. Damn it. Mind you, it's only like £8 a metre, so I will order a couple of meters because of the way that it's done. She does it in like bias strips and folds them over. But I think because this one, the idea is, I have a plan, believe it or not. There is a plan. So many layers of things. Ah! Okay. So because this is on a brown background. Brown background? Did I say that right? I think I made words up then, didn't I? But I kind of want like a brown, but I think it this kind of goes, but I think it needs to be a dark brown faux suede. Of course, I want to wear the witch's hat with this and that, because of course I do. I'm totally not a mental person. I'm making a mess in here. I am making a giant mess. I'm going to hang on to that though. I can always put that back in Mum's stash. Technically it's mine, it was curtains. Let's see. Gig Racer says to Mim, not sure how I missed that. Joker Clear says, not smelling the colour 9. Lol. Michelle says, I need that kind of coffee today. Words, breathing, everything is hard today. Jojo says to ha ha ha, Joker Clears, yes, that too. Ralph says to Joker Clears, the amount of caffeine would tip me over the edge of the delicate balance to stay awake and the conscious and knocking me unconscious again. Joker Clears says, yeah, there are times when 3 cups of coffee puts me right to sleep and times when just the smell of it is like nitrous oxide on a racetrack. Lol. Rachel Lynn says, good morning all, good morning. So yes, all of the coffee talk. All of the coffee talk. How are we doing? We've only been chatting for an hour and a half. Oh, I also, because I was looking on Etsy, because of course I was, but I found my favorites. I want to see my favorites. I found this double scalloped lace trim, and I thought, because the dirndl pattern from Burda takes 11 meters of fabric, I thought buying like a cotton lawn and then buying 11 meters of this trim, which would still be expensive because it's £4.65 with 35% off. But buying that trim would mean that you could do the kind of like layered skirt that the Burda dirndl wants you to do. Got itchy eyeball. Itchy eyeball. yeah, do the layered skirt that the Burderdundle wants you to do, but with trim rather than fabric. And it's still, this would be, whilst expensive, still way cheaper than 11 meters of broderie and glaze with border fabric. I thought that was really pretty. I liked that, because that's what the trim is. It's actually those two layers sandwiched together. So might need that for a future project. Because I do like the floofy skirts. The floofy skirts are awesome. Rotten Mouse says, passing the Red Bull spiked with coffee to Michelle. Try this. You guys are terrible. Nimue says, lol, don't forget to like the stream, peeps. Yes, we have 94 of us here and 40 likes today. Rotten Mouse says, very pretty trim. Oh, I was going to look at the microfiber fabric. Oh, this is another trim from the same company. I don't know what I'd use it for. Capra. And then I also accidentally discovered this print. Look at the price. Bullock Capri. Etsy is evil. Evil. Right. Oh, this is what started this all. I saw this fabric. I saw that fabric and I was just like, oh, I could do the strawberry dress. You know how there's that meme about Internet Explorer and like all the other search engines are like, what do we want? Internet. When do we want it? Now. And Internet Explorer is just like, Internet. That's me. I'm just like, strawberry dress 2 years ago. Let's do one now. But I couldn't. I really like it. I think it's an amazing dress, but I just couldn't get my head around making it because I would never have worn it ever. I know I wouldn't have, but that one I'd wear. I would wear that one. So the beginning of that video, if I ever do buy that fabric and make that dress and do that, like, yay, let's make the strawberry dress, would have to have that Internet Explorer meme in it because it would just be like, I'm so terrible. I'm so terrible. Joker Clee says, ooh, me like that trim. It's Peppery trim. Michelle says to Rotten Ruff, grazie, I'll be right over. Goo Grocer says, so many pretties. Yes, Rotten Ruff says, pretty fabric. Joker Clee says, that green trim is something I'd use for a hat band, or maybe a trim of a garter or a centre trim on a wide ribbon. And then there's Netscape before that. Yes. But you know what I meant with the meme thing. So, yeah. Rob Ralph says, I'm always late to the trendy party. Same. Catherine says, it's the same dress that Rachel Mexi made as the pumpkin dress. Yes, she did it with bats, but yes. She wanted pumpkins and she couldn't find pumpkins. Joe Clear says that fabric could go for either spring or fall depending on what colour you use to line it. Well, because somebody actually did a really good, I think it was Minji, did a really good analysis of the strawberry dress because she actually bought a real Lyrica Matoshi, or was it Tuo? No, it was Lyrica, wasn't it? She actually bought a real one and had a look at the layers, and there isn't actually a lining in it. It's just lots of nude tulle. So I was thinking I would be risque and do a nude illusion dress and try and make all the underneath layers skin toned and possibly line it so that I don't have to wear a slip underneath of it. I also wouldn't make it as plunging down the front because I want to be able to wear a bra. So I would, have a shot. I'm doing the boob thing again. But yeah, I would make it so that it would come up to here. I actually have a Vogue dress that I think could work quite well for it, although that is plunging, but I would just tack it here. I think it, or the 7974 would be a good one as well. But yeah, I would try and make it a nude illusion dress and put a lot of, like, there's something called corset tulle, but they make petticoats out of it as well. And that stuff is amazing. Not cheap, but I was thinking for my lace dresses that I've got back there that I want to alter, I was thinking it might be a good idea to make a standalone petticoat that could be worn under them, and then add like the flounce rather than make a petticoat for each dress. Make one that would work for all of them, and then make a flounce that gets actually sewn onto the lace dress. I'm all over the shop today, but yeah. Ralph says, I'm always late to the Trinity party. I've read that one, but yeah, same. Carmen says, hi, Sean and Peeps. Sean, I love that blue on you. How's everyone doing? It's storming down in Cape Town, and I'm sewing dresses for Project Dress a Girl 2023. My hubby just brought me coffee. Nice. I'm very well, thank you, Carmen. How are you? Michelle says, pretty trim. I love all the shininess. Nimue says, I think it's better to join a trend late when you found a take on it you actually like, rather than jumping on it straight away and doing the exact same thing as everybody else just because. Yes. Ralph Rouse says, corset tool is so very useful. Yes, I think it's going to be something that I actually try a few things with. Yeah, I agree, Nimue. I was really tempted to. I mean, I've actually this one will make you guys giggle. Let's see. Actually, let me see if I can show you, because I think you guys who know the fruit obsession that we have on this channel will know where I am going with this. But look at the tool that I found. Look at it. It does have lemons as well, but, and I saw that one, and then I was just like, I want to make the strawberry dress out of that. But only because it's going to make you guys laugh. Yeah, that was something that I thought, and then I was just like, is that too much of an in-joke? And I was just like, again, I probably would never wear the dress, but it would be hilarious. But it'd be hilarious for about 40 or 50 of us. I'm not opposed to doing it though. Lisa says, sorry, I've not said much, been here the whole stream, just enjoying the chatter. That's fine, that's what we're here for, Lisa. Joker Clee says, oh no, here come the pineapples again. Rotten Ralph says, more pineapples. Carmen says, buy the lemon tool, buy it, love it. Catherine says, as the Scots say, I write. Joker Clee says, haha, called it, lol. Sal says, I don't follow trends or fashion rules, I do my own thing for fashion wise. Yeah, same. That's why I never kind of like did the strawberry dress, because it was just like, it's beautiful as a piece of work. I love it. I think it's amazing. I would want to find something to make it my own, and that floral tulle is the one that I've seen that immediately just made me went, I won't lay it. Gig Racer says, lol, but are they upside down? I think they're every which way. I do think they are every which way. The fact that there's lemons in there as well. Right, Ralph says it's a beautiful thing, and Nimue is giggling. I mean, I do have those other 2 pineapple fabrics back there, so I could do a whole pineapple series. That fabric's not going anywhere, so it could be one that I do next year. So Rotten Ralph says the strawberry dress is a piece of art. It really is. It really is. Sal says it's funny that pineapple is my gaming clan safe word. Yes. Gig Gracer says, does that make them pansexual pineapples? I think so. Carmen says, yes, a pineapple series. It would just be so funny. I'd have to start releasing ones on TikTok. I would have to, because there's a whole swinger talk side of that internet. Where I found out about the pineapples. Not that I'm in it. I kind of just, my For You page ended up giving me that for once, and it was like, okay, good to know. But yeah, if I release on TikTok, I'd have to never wear it on a cruise. Apparently, cruising is pineapples on a cruise is a thing. So. I'm sorry, I'm such a child. It really does tickle my sense of humor, though. I'm such a child. Lisa says, I wish I could make clothes. Can't get my head around fitting garments to my shape though. I don't say much now, but when I do, it's bags, etc. At the moment, I'm making a witch gnome. Witch gnome sounds really cool. Bags is fun as well. I like making bags. Eliza says, good morning from Ohio. Been listening but curious. What is the strawberry dress? Have you managed to not see the strawberry dress? If you put it in on YouTube, there's 1,000,001 people that made the strawberry dress. So there's a designer called Lyrica Matoshi, and a famous person bought one of her dresses and wore it to an awards ceremony, and everyone went nuts for it. And this is the original strawberry dress photo, but it's not the strawberry dress. Yeah, here we go. So that is the strawberry dress, and it is amazing. It's around $500 to $600 depending on the exchange rate that you buy it on, and it's absolutely stunning. And for that price and the amount of fabric that's gone into it, because as I say, I think it was Minji, I think I'm saying her name right, but who did an analysis of it, and for the amount of layers and fabric and work that's gone into it, that is an amazing price. An absolutely amazing price. And loads of people have copied it. Loads of people have knocked it off, like AliExpress and things like that, which really makes me mad. But loads of people have made their own versions of it. Rachel Maxey made what she wanted it to be pumpkins, but she could only get bat fabric. And if you go onto YouTube, there's just so many different people have done it, because it was like a cultural phenomenon. Sorry. Many Muppets today. Yeah, so it was just like, for a period of time, that was all people were doing, was the strawberry dress, to jump on the trend and the algorithm, because people were searching for it, so they were discovering new channels through it. And it's like why I tried to do my Stranger Things dress for the release of Stranger Things series 3 or 4, I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, tying your videos into cultural phenomenons that are happening around the world is a really good way of getting your channel discovered and having some videos possibly go viral. Although you don't really want them to go viral. You want people to discover your channel and love your work as a whole, rather than just one video from it, because you can get a huge spike in subscribers, but it's actually watch time that's more important. And if you get a huge spike in subscribers and then not everybody loves everything that you do, and they've only just come for one specific video that's way outside of the realm of content that you make, they tend not to stick around, which is fair enough. But yeah, that's the strawberry dress. Rottenrouse says, Sal, my crew uses alfalfa for your safe words for your gaming thing. Lisa says, it's from the gnome book from my mate Debbie Shaw. Oh, very cool. Joker Clear says, roll on the floor laughing my ass off. Sometimes we need to have those child moments just to break up the daily drudgery. Yes. Eliza says, oh, how pretty, feminine, flowy and feminine, thanks. Have a look at Lyrica Matoshi and Tuota Matoshi, Eliza. Google Matoshi dresses and you'll get the two sisters come up. They are amazing. They're so beautiful. Yeah. And for what they are, incredibly well priced, given that they are made in their home country. They're not shipped off to China to be made in Chinese factories. Nothing, and again, that's not, I know I'm not trying to tar every single Chinese factory with the same brush, but we do know about the working conditions in some of them. So the fact that these dresses are made in-house by the designers and their team is amazing, and that's why the price is amazing to me. I think they're very fairly priced. It's one thing I've been watching a couple of, they're in their mid-20s YouTubers. I really enjoy their content because they're funny and I like watching their reviews and things, but they do have a very skewed perception on what is appropriate clothing prices. And again, this is a very fraught topic because I appreciate that not everybody can afford to buy sustainable clothing, because it is more expensive. And there are companies like Shein and Temu and New Look and H&M who churn out majority poorly made, very inexpensive clothing. And I appreciate for some people, their clothing budget, that's just what they can afford and what they can get. And so saying that, you know, everybody should be buying sustainable is just not an option for everybody. I get it. But I do think it's really interesting watching these YouTubers review things. One of them was reviewing evening dresses that she'd bought from a company. Her thing was like, oh, you know, is this a scam, or am I actually going to get what's in the picture? Because she buys lots of stuff from Pinterest, and the thing that turns up is not the thing that's in the picture majority of the time, because the thing in the picture is like a thousands of dollar gown by a couture designer, and somebody's knocked it off. But this company were actually selling the dresses that were in the pictures, and they were beaded. And you know, the beaded mesh that I got from the Gold Hawk Road, which was £65 a meter, one of the dresses had that on the skirt, and the dress itself was $119. Now obviously the £65 that I paid for that mesh is retail price, not wholesale price. But there was a lot more beading on that dress, and she was saying that it was expensive at $119, and it's just like, actually it's not. It's actually, that's a very reasonable price, because she wasn't complaining about the quality. She liked how the dress looked. She liked the actual style of the dress. It was the dress that was in the picture. She was saying it was too expensive. And it was just like, I don't think it is. I think it's actually very well priced for what it is. And the reason that it's well priced for what it is because the fabric's expensive, but the labor that's gone into making it is where the costs have been cut. And it's, again, it's like a really fraught subject, because as I say, I appreciate that not everybody is going to be able to spend lots of money on clothing, but we do have a very skewed perception of clothing because of fast fashion, and because the turnover of things that are available on the high street is so high. And clothing, you know, like 100 years ago was an investment. The solo artist, she did have a YouTube channel. She uploads shorts here, but she's got a big following on TikTok now. And she pretty much dresses historically nearly every day. Not every day, but nearly every day. And she was doing a series of like what a housemaid would wear and then what a middle class woman would wear. And some of the comments were like, oh, but those clothes are way too expensive for a middle class woman. She would never wear that. And so she went back and she actually got a Sears catalog, and she was like, no, look, this is the price of these things. And for the amount of fabric that's in this is a really good price. And yes, her wage, this is like a good quarter of her wage, but she's not expecting to buy this every month. This will be a yearly purchase, and then it will be worked in with other things, and it'll get reworked as she changes shape, or that, you know, damage happens and styles change. This thing would get reworked and reworked and reworked. And that's the thing. I mean, I have a lot of clothes. I have way more clothes than I ever need. I have way more clothes than anyone 100 years ago. Well, that's, yeah, still, like, you know, I would be incredibly wealthy to be able to have the size of wardrobe I have 100 years ago. And, you know, so I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm definitely not. And consumerism has gone nuts in that direction. And that's why clothing companies are doing what they're doing, because there is the market there for it. But the amount of waste that gets thrown away daily is shocking, is absolutely shocking. But it is really interesting to watch these YouTubers review things and be horrified at prices that I actually think are very, very reasonable. Now, one of them, she did buy some trousers from Goop, which was $600, and they were poorly made. She showed us the inside of them, and she was like, I was like, no, that has gone too far. And she sews as well. She does sewing as well. The other one kind of does DIYs. She's like, I'm not a great sewer, and she's not trying to be, but this one does do sewing and is getting better. But it was really interesting kind of watching their reaction to things that, for me, I was just like, oh, oh, that's pretty well priced for what you've got there. The thing that's been cut is the cost of labor. Like, the person making that has not been paid well. I don't even know if fairly is the right word, because obviously cost of living in their countries is different. But yeah, it's kind of interesting watching them and being just like, you have a very skewed perception on what a piece of clothing should cost for the amount of fabric in it, the amount of detail in it, the amount of work that went into making it. So yeah. Let's see, where did I get to with the chat? Let's see. Carmen says, some of the dresses I'm making for Project Dresser Girl is with strawberry fabric. The universe is trying to tell us all something, don't you think? Ralph says to Lisa, post on the Peeps group. Oh yeah, we'd like to see the we'd like to have a look at the gnome, please, Lisa, if you don't mind. And Lisa says to Rotten Ralph on the Facebook page, yes. And Rotten Ralph says, yes, I want to see the book and the gnome. Yes, we all want to see the book and the gnome, please. Joker Clee says, you referenced strawberry and my mind went to Sarah Spaceman's version of the strawberry, probably because it didn't. I don't use that tea place online. Yeah. Her video the other day, actually, again, she's just done somebody had donated a strawberry Miku costume in Florida, and her friends had found it, and she was comparing it to her own. And I got halfway through the video, and it was another one where it was just like, for $119, the amount of fabric that's in that. Again, the person who's made it is the one where the cost has been cut. I couldn't watch more than half of it. And again, it was an interesting watch, but it was one of those ones where it was just like, I mean, she spent a long time and a lot of money on her strawberry Miku costume, and it was amazing. And she did it so well. And the problem solving and the everything that went into that one was brilliant. But not everybody has that amount of time or that amount of money to spend on a costume, which is why those other costumes exist. And for maybe it was $149, but for $119, the amount and it wasn't even complete. There were bits missing, but the amount of things that were in there, it's the person that's making it that has had is where the cost has been cut. And she was comparing her handmade, hand sewn, beautifully finished costume to something that was churned out in a factory, and the sewing on it was not awful. It was printed rather than lots of things were printed onto fabric rather than appliques and lace and details and things like that. And again, cost cutting. I thought it was really interesting, but it was definitely, I got about halfway through the video and I don't think she was being intentionally mean, but it was just one of those ones where it was just like, yeah, I'm not sure I can watch this. Like Bernadette Banner's roast of her, because her red medieval gown that she made and spent hours making got ripped off, and they used her photos, and she bought it and roasted it as well. And I didn't find that as problematic, but I haven't watched that for a very long time. But I thought she addressed the kind of like cost of labor very well in that video. So yeah. Jojo says do. It was probably very funny at the time. Or is that do the pineapple dress? Lisa says, okay, when it's finished, I will. Instead of making a broom for her, I'm making a felt jack-o'-lantern pumpkin and a bat familiar. Oh, amazing. Ross says, Joker Cleese, her dress was amazing. Definitely. Joker Cleese says that it was, which made the knockoff her friends found that much worse, lol, especially when it came to finally discovering to be around $100 on sale with parts combined. Ben Jia says, hi, I wanted to say thank you for your McCalls 6696 so long, helped me a lot. You're welcome, and I'm so pleased you found it helpful, even with the terrible background noise in that one. Filmed on my iPhone. Julie Elizabeth says, good morning from Virginia. Good morning. Ron Rouse says, Joker Cleese, the cosplay thing is definitely interesting. The under loincloth is amazing. And Rotten Ralph says the solo artist is very educational. I enjoy her. Yes, me too. Eliza says, thank you for the convo on consumerism and sustainability. Love deep thoughts. Yeah, hopefully I've articulated my thoughts well. I do not mean to offend anyone in any way. And I know I'm not right because, as I say, I mean, you know, just because I buy fabric rather than clothes, this has still had an environmental impact on the world. Like making cotton is expensive and water expensive. So yeah. Yeah. Laurel says, good morning from Chicago. Good morning. Lisa says, this is why I wish I could make clothes for myself. I've bought clothing from Sian and Temu and Primark. The quality, particularly from Sian and Temu, is shocking and poor fabrics. Yeah. Yeah. I actually unfollowed somebody the other day because they'd done a Sian haul, and I was just like, I know I can't. I can't in good conscience follow. I mean, they have amazing things on there. They do. And their turnaround is quick, but oh my goodness, like the kind of thing that they did with a bunch of bloggers, and they took them to the factory in China, and it was amazing because of course it was. Is that their only factory? No, it's not. Yeah, it's a really thorny subject. It's a really, really thorny subject. Nimue says, what's really sad is that if money is tight, you can't even save up to buy a few better quality, longer lasting garments because you have to pay so much more to get the actual good quality. The middle segment still sucks in quality and is produced by terribly underpaid workers. Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, I'm not innocent in this. I'm not saying I'm perfect at all. I buy from Next every now and again. I used to buy from the high street. I used to buy from H&M. I used to buy from Topshop. I used to buy from River Island, Bay Trading, Miss Selfridge, all fast fashion realistically. And some of those are on the slightly pricier side of fast fashion. I don't think I've ever bought anything from Primark clothes-wise. I have bought shoes from Primark. Yeah, I mean, I'm not perfect. I am definitely not perfect in any way, shape, or form. I'm not trying to say that I am. I'm just, it's one of those things that it's like, how do we sort this out? Like, how? Because all the marketing and all of like the fashion magazines are just like constantly churning out that you have to have new things, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do, and that's another reason I kind of was just like, I don't say I'm fashionable because I'm totally not fashionable, but I don't want to be fashionable. I don't want to have the latest product. I want to dress for my shape and my coloring and wear things that make me feel good. So yeah, it is a little difficult. Carolyn says, when I used to make bridesmaids dresses for bridal wear places, I was paid by the item, not the hour, between £25 and £50 per dress. One reason why I stopped. Wow. Yeah. Sarah says, I do think it's an interesting how society thinks that sewing is cheaper or that handmade clothing is cheaper than buying clothing, but fabric is expensive and adds up fast. Yeah, this is not a cheap hobby. There are ways of doing this less expensively, but this is not a cheap hobby at all. It used to be, but it's not anymore. And realistically, was it ever like thinking about it really? Again, like there's no right answer. That's the problem. Mim says, I saw the video as well and was thinking the same. Read the costume comparison. Sarah says, what makes buying clothing cheaper than is the fact that you don't pay for the labor. Exactly. Caroline says, I see the ads for Temu and think, what pattern could I use? I have a suit saved on my suits Pinterest board. Let me show you. I've got it in a couple of colorways. I love it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And I totally want to make myself this suit, and I will make it at some point, or attempt to make it at some point. But when I found out it's actually from Shein, So that's really me. I think it's gorgeous, and they've got it in a green color as well. I think it's really lovely, and I can see myself wearing this outfit. But yeah, it's from Sian. So nice. There's the green one as well. I think it's amazing. Let's see. Where did I get to? Sal says, to make the robe I posted, I bought a grey $180 robe off Etsy, cut it to pieces, bought a $50 red satin sheet set, and used the pieces from the bought one as a template. Yeah. I'm not saying clothing should be expensive. I'm just saying it should be priced so that the person who made it gets paid and has time off, and yeah, again, there's no quick or easy answer to this. Lisa says, Sean, can you recommend a YouTuber who does dressmaking for beginners? What's the name of the Australian channel? Jessa Lily. Rosary Apparel. She's just done a series of beginner, like how to learn to sew right from the get-go. Yeah, Rosary Apparel. That one. I know that's like a summer in Japan video, but she's done a series of that. So Jessa Lily has also started doing that as well. And Anika's channel was Made to Sew. Thank you, Christine. Made to Sew. I've learned so much from Anika. She's amazing. She doesn't post very often anymore, but her back catalogue, yeah, Mete has just put that up as well. I wasn't talking about Evelyn, but Evelyn Wood as well is another really good one. But yeah, I was talking about Rosary. Tomcat Stitchery, again, another one. Have a look at Tilly and the Buttons. Paige Joanna does Friday Pattern Company she's affiliated with, but I believe she does some good ones as well. Eliza says, I think what is missing in our society is awareness. Perfection is not the goal. Mindfulness is the goal. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I've seen that lots and lots of times. Lots of people saying you don't need to be the perfect person. What we need is lots of people to be doing lots of little things, and all those little things will add up, because if there's one person being perfect and 10 people being completely imperfect, that's not going to balance out. But if all 10 people are doing as much as they possibly can in as many ways as they possibly can, that's going to have more of a cumulative effect. So yeah, perfection is not the goal, totally. Rockmouse says, Sarah, I watch Hayley, her breakdown regarding the actual cost with a living wage calculation is helpful. Catherine says, part of the issue is that the cheap clothes are built to disintegrate rather than last. So even if you wanted to make them last for wear after wear, they probably couldn't. Agreed. Joker Clee says, well, that's one reason why the Dream Shop would hopefully have an entire section dedicated to producing cloth of various sorts, including wool, alpaca, cashmere, linen, and nettle. That would be amazing. Liza says to Catherine that she agrees. Lisa says, I'm just living in jeans and t-shirt and a jumper. I'm 56, but look and act much younger. When looking at a pattern for making clothes, I have no idea where to start. Do you mind if I ask what body shape you are, Lisa? Because there are certain companies that draft for particular body shapes as well, and that might help. Julie Elizabeth says, I'm shaped like a potato. Join the potato peeps! There are 3 of us so far. I need to alter my clothes. I like to buy secondhand and alter it, because if I spend $5 and mess it up, it feels better than paying $50 and messing that up. Actually, that's a really good idea. That would be something to maybe have a look at. Although I know, I don't know where you're based, Lisa, either, but I know charity shops in England are not overly cheap anymore. But that might be something to have a look at, is maybe going to charity shops and buying things that you like that you can tweak. There's a bunch of channels for that as well. Joker Clee says, tea and a sour cream glazed donut. What a breakfast. I mean, the sour cream glazed donut sounds revolting, but I'm sure it's absolutely amazing. It's one of those combinations that I would never have thought of, but it's like, I've just discovered Marks and Spencer's Yum Nuts, the raspberry one. Keeto's hard. Nimue says, we're all stuck in this deeply flawed, destructive system. We can't fix it as individuals. We can only try to make more conscious choices where possible and try to vote for better legislature. Yes. Sarah says, sometimes I think Shein is better than H&M because it's obviously workers get paid pennies. H&M is more expensive, but their workers still get paid pennies, and the rest goes to the corporate. At least Shein is honest in that. There is that point, yeah. Christine says, Made to Sew has some good beginner videos. Mete says, Made to Sew. Rockmell says, are you talking about Evelyn Wood? Joker Claire says, Tomcat Stitchery is pretty good too. Lisa says, yes, I know Evelyn Wood. Thanks, sweetie. I've just subscribed to a couple of those YouTubers. Awesome. I mean, there's loads out there. You just need to find the one that works for you, that you kind of like, that you get what they're talking about. Catherine says, on a completely different subject, someone has made a wee web app which matches fabric colours to Gutama thread colours. Thready.lol. That sounds like a genius idea. That's a really clever idea. I like it. Joker Clee says, Bianca has a good course on drafting block patterns too. She does indeed. Wouldn't say necessarily that's completely beginner friendly, but if you start down the block route, Lisa, it's a steep learning curve, but it might be the way forward for you. Let's see. Lisa says, I'm a size 18 on top, size 14, 16 bottom. I'm 5'8" and I'm in Devon. Do you have a defined waist? Would you say you are a triangle shape then, or would you say you're kind of like a top-heavy hourglass? Yeah. Chanja says, I went to see my mother at the start of the month. I asked my sisters if they wanted me to bring something from the States. She asked for dressing gowns. It cost $100 and took 20 hours to make them. You is a good sister. Jojo says, fellow Tato right here. Yes, Tato Peeps. Joker Clee says, technically the sour cream's in the batter and it's just super sugar glaze on the outside, but it nearly melts in your mouth. Oh, okay. Yeah. Catherine says, I've tried it. It works. That's really cool. Mim says, we already have almost no charity shops in Germany, and if they are, they're very expensive. And Lisa Fenn says she's a triangle, I think. So have a Google as well online, because I was doing that the other day when I was looking at trousers shapes and stuff for my shape and size. So have a Google for what clothes suit my body type or my body shape, and sort of like have a look. There's loads of articles that will come up and you'll have to do some research and have a look through and things. But having a look and seeing what sort of things will suit you, because what suits you and what you enjoy, what you like the look of, might not necessarily be the same thing. So I think that was one of the most important things that I've learned through a lot of trial and error. Is I've tried, because I got a comment, I was here, so maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, and the person was like, oh, you only make fit and flare now, because I did a video on it of what I should be wearing. And the comment was that I only make fit and flare dresses. I used to experiment loads and tried loads of different things, but I now only make fit and flare dresses, and they were getting bored. And I was also, when I was going through my Cobra Corsage phase, which was not meant to take 6 months, it was meant to take 3. But, you know, broken heart, it was just, I retreated into my comfort zone. And I do every now and again try something different. I did like the trapeze style dresses, which my sister-in-law now has, because whilst they were nice, the only way I felt comfortable wearing them was with a belt on them, which made them fit and flare. So over the years, yes, I've tried loads and loads of different styles, but I've kind of honed it down to acknowledging that I like cropped cardigans that show off my smallest part, because my smallest part is my waist, and I like to emphasize my hips. I don't mind making my hips look bigger as long as I emphasize the fact that I have a small waist, and I can do that by wearing stuff like this. So this kind of hits at exactly the right part of me to kind of like really emphasize the hourglass. I mean, technically I'm a pear, although I measured it the other day and my shoulders and my hips are exactly the same width. So I'm a bottom heavy hourglass pear, technically a pear shape. But I do like to accentuate this part of me, and that's why I wear belts. And when I had my colors done, it was also a style analysis, and she gave me a whole booklet of it. But one of the things for that sort of, one of the pieces of advice that was given was to put belts on to emphasize the smallest part of you. And I get so many comments from people being like, you don't have to put a belt on with everything. You don't have to cinch your waist with everything. And it's like, actually, I do, because I like it. I like that shape on me. I like the way it looks. And so I've gone from making and experimenting with a bunch of different things to kind of like honing it down and narrowing it down and working out that the things that I reach for and that I wear are fit and flare dresses. And, you know, I'm going to try trousers. I've made the Gertie Lucille trousers as a muslin. The peeps in the Patreon exclusive waffles have seen what that looks like. It's not good. And you know, I'm going back to the drawing board and trousers, and I'm going to try and find a pair of trousers that I like. But in all honesty, even if I get to the point of finding a pair of trousers that I like and I make a few pairs of them, I'm probably not going to end up wearing them very often, because I prefer dresses and they fit my lifestyle better. So yeah. Carol says, good morning. Good morning. Lisa says, okay, I will. Thank you so much. This is great advice. Let us know how you get on as well. If you're in the Peeps group, aren't you? So we're, you know, like, come and drop in on the Hive Mind and sort of like let us know how you're getting on and how you're faring, because we that's what it is at Hive Mind, and it's lovely in there and everyone's very, very helpful. So yeah, let us know how you get on. Laurel says, Professor Pincushion has good, clear videos on basic techniques, and Guthrie and Ghani's fabric videos might be helpful for you if you need to learn about various fabrics. That's a really good point. Guthrie and Ghani do really good in-depth videos on fabrics. Jacob Clee says, might get roasted for this, but the Stitch Sisters might be a place to start too. No, I like the Stitch Sisters. Yeah, I think there's loads. So over at the Stitch Sisters, Evelyn Woods, Mimi G, all have courses that you can pay for. They all have sewing school courses that you can pay. Beautiful Things HQ. This is just a few that I can think of off the top of my head. They all have beginner sewing courses that you pay for. The videos that we're talking about, or the channels that we're talking about, have a lot of free content on them. It's one of those things that if you enjoy it, then it might be a good idea to invest in a sewing course, either in person, or if you haven't got that much money, because they tend to be more expensive, trying to do an online course. But check out all these YouTube channels and see which teaching style you like and what person kind of like gets your learning style, because they're the ones that it would be worth progressing further down on the paid course route, if that makes sense. So yeah, the Stitch Sisters are great. Lisa says, thanks to Laurel, I will have a look at those. Catherine says, that's surely a reason that fit and flare variations have been in the predominant shape of women's clothing for the last 800 years. I mean, yeah, like I can watch fashion shows, and All Saints is one of my favorite high street companies. I applied for a job at All Saints a couple of times and never got through to the interview process. But I absolutely love All Saints, but they are not designed for my shape, and I look like a tent. They just don't look good on me. Some of their pieces do, and I still have a few pieces from them, a few knitwear pieces, but the majority of their things just did not look good on me at all. And I kind of just got to the point where it's like, I love this, I admire this, I want to wear this, but on me, I look like a sack of potatoes. So, you know, that's how like I say, over the years, I kind of just refined it down to be like, well, the thing that looks best on me is fit and flare. And, you know, like for as much as all the articles that I looked at when I was looking for advice for dressing my shape, and which was quite recent, which was about the trouser thing. I've got trouser thing here as well. Lots of videos and people were like, oh, you're an hourglass, you can wear whatever you want, you're gonna look good in everything, like, and then showed people who looked good in everything, and it was just like, that's not the case though. And the people that they were showing that look good in everything were celebrities, and one of the tricks that celebrities have is they have everything tailored. Their jeans are tailored, their t-shirts are tailored, everything is tailored. Even if they buy it off the rack high street, it's tailored. They take it to somebody and they have it altered to fit them perfectly. And that's why the majority of celebrities look as good as they do in their ready to wear off the rack clothes. So yeah. Where did I get to with the chat? Rachel says, did you go and try on many types of trousers? Yes, I did. And that video is coming soon. I really like those ones, although they weren't high-waisted enough, and I like that shape. And again, not high-waisted enough, but yes, I went and tried on, and that's the actual trousers that I was wearing that day, and I don't think they're as good as those ones. But yes, I did go and try on a bunch of different trousers, and I videoed it all, and they are all, as you can see, except for those two bright ones, they were all dark because that was the only options that were available. But the ones that I liked the most were the green ones, and like I said, the pegged carrot leg 7/8 trousers were the ones that looked the best on me, I think. They were all a size 16 as well, so they only just fit my hips. Julie Elizabeth says, I live in rural Virginia. We are blessed with estate sales, yard sales, thrift shops, but I buy sheets for yardage and men's shirts to alter into blouses. Nice. Jojo says exactly to Catherine about the fit and flare being predominantly the shape of women's clothing for the last 800 years. Teresa says we call those donuts Krispy Kremes in America, and those are heavenly. I love Krispy Kreme. Lisa says, yes, I'm in the Peeps group. Awesome. It's a really good resource for, you know, bouncing ideas off people. Rockmouth says, you like the look of wide leg trousers, Sean, but you wear skinny jeans. I know. I am a weirdo. We know this. But yeah, those look amazing. Because Eileen said the other day as well, she was like, oh, but you look so good in those bootcut jeans. I liked them in person, but seeing myself on camera and then a photograph of me in them, I hated how they looked on me. I think like a very straight leg up and down was actually better for me. It's kind of interesting. Lisa says, thank you, Sean, and everybody. The advice is invaluable. You're welcome. Charlotte says, I'm definitely not a sewing class type of person. Too restrictive for me. I'm an engineer, so I naturally have good insight into how things work and how they are made. Nice. So just wanted just watching YouTube for things I want to learn is great. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm really lucky. Sewing kind of was one of those things that just kind of came naturally to me. I've never taken a class. I'm completely taught off the internet and have the audacity to think that I can teach you guys. Every now and again I get definite imposter syndrome, just like, who do you think you are? But for me, I found channels that taught me things and blog posts that taught me things in ways that I was just like, I understand that, and then I seem to have an innate ability for it anyway. So yeah. Lisa says, I don't suit stuff that's in fashion. I prefer more classical styles that I could wear for years and look nice. Same. Joker Clee says, also, if you're looking for something for inspiration, Stephanie Canada often does a lot of pattern haul videos where you might find some patterns, some pattern inspiration. Be warned, some of the patterns are old. Yes, I like watching her videos. Eliza says, I'm a neighbour in Ohio, Julie Elizabeth. I also have those amazing resources to reuse items, but struggle with men's shirts. Would love to use them, not sure how. Ooh, there are some, Adi Lynn, I think, does some really good refashions of men's shirts. Joker Clee says, and some require a significant amount of pre-known information. Yes, there is a definite assumed knowledge in sewing patterns. I think that's what I try to do, is demystify what they're saying. Although, I mean, a couple of people have pointed out that my sew-alongs are obviously not for beginners, and it's just like, I'm trying to make it as clear as possible. Very. Lisa says, I was in TK Maxx last week. I bought one jumper. Everything else in the store I hated in Torquay. I felt I like wide leg trousers. They seem to balance out my shape. I can imagine that, actually. Yes, I can imagine that. Yeah, that would look good. Rotten Ralph says, Sian, you have learned how to dress your shape, and Fit and Flare is the best for your shape. Nimoy says, all these fit advice schemes focus exclusively on traditional circumference measurements and completely ignore height and vertical proportions, and those matter 100%. Catherine says, sizing is depressing. Julian's, I mean, according to this, my hips are a size 20. Got into that. My waist is a size 12, and my boobs are a size 16. And I pretty much regularly make a size 12. So, you know, they are arbitrary numbers. The sizing, I think we've talked about this before, haven't we? The sizing, traditional sizing thing was done back in the 50s of a group of 1,000 women that were measured, and they came up with standardized sizing. And then everyone's just done their own thing from there. So we've got like 70 years of bias in different shops, and then vanity sizing came in. And I mean, like a size 12 now would have been a size, what, 14, 16 previously, and then like vice versa as well. And size zeros turned up, and then double zero. And it's just a mess. It's an absolute mess. Julie Elizabeth says, Eliza, I started by using a blouse pattern, then I took a men's shirt apart, laid the pattern and cut it out, sewed it back together. I left the button band alone. Eliza says, thanks to Julie. Julie Elizabeth says, also removed collar and cuffs. Rotten Ralph says to Catherine, sizing is a lie that numbers mean nothing. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. It's like some sewing patterns do A through to, you know, F sizing. Some do names. Some do, you know, it is just a way of indicating what measurements you should be, you know, it's like a reference point. Like the numbers mean nothing. I see so many people in the McCalls Facebook group are just like, oh, so I'm this size. What size pattern should I cut? And every single person in the comments is like, measure, 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 measure. And they're wrong. They're right. You know, just like your ready-to-wear size has no influence whatsoever. Like, for example, the cupped size patterns. Touch my boobs again. Drink. The cupped size patterns that the Big Four do. A, B, C, and D. So my bra size when I go and buy a bra, depending on the time of the month and which company I'm buying from, range from sometimes an E, majority of times an F. And the biggest one that I have in my cupboard is a double G. And I mean, I do not look like I have double G boobs, but because I have like a narrow underbust and I have a small back and I do have big boobs, paid a lot of money for them. That's why I have that cup size. So if I go to a Vogue pattern, like, and it goes up to a D, it's just like, well, that's not going to fit. But it does, and I actually end up having to do a C, sometimes a B, but more often than not a C cup from the patterns, because it's the measurement around here and then the measurement above the bust is how they decide what cup size you should sew from their pattern, and it's just their measurements and their method. So when I did my size comparison video for the 7974, somebody else in the comments, there was quite a lot of people saying, oh, no, this bust measurement that's on the pattern envelope is your high bust above your bust. It's not your actual bust. You're silly. Why don't you know that? Why would I know that? Because it doesn't say it anywhere. I actually spoke to the marketing representative of Simplicity UK. We had a long discussion, face-to-face video call, and she was saying, no, that's not true. It's not the high bust. It's your actual bust, that measurement. There's a video that came out the other day. Somebody tagged me in it and let me know about it. And they were like, oh, you know how people were saying that it's your high bust? Well, this video shows that it's the high bust and it's a Palmer and Pletch pattern. Palmer and Pletch have a tissue fitting method. And for their patterns, they're saying measure your high bust and choose your pattern size from your high bust and then make full bust adjustments from there as you need to. And that's the problem. There's all these different people from the same company giving all this different advice, and none of it's written on the back of the thing, and there's plenty of room. You've started me on my soapbox again. But yeah, like, sizing is ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. Like, it means nothing. It's arbitrary. It's just a way of identifying that this particular pair of trousers is bigger than this pair of trousers, and depending on your measurement, you will either fall into this number or this number. The number means bugger all. So yeah, because from Next I'm a size 10 in jeans, and from Marks and Spencer's I'm a size 16. In fact, I bought a size 8 jeans because I wanted them to fit my waist, and they are slightly tight on my hips. But yeah, size 8 in Next, 16 in Marks and Spencer's. It's stupid. Stupid. And not helpful at all for everybody else. Sorry. My little my little soapbox there. Sorry. Oh, Lisa, a really good one to maybe try would be Lacala, because you put your measurements into Lacala and they give you they draft a pattern for you from your measurements. The caveat with that is the instructions are terrible. So you want to pick a really basic pattern that you kind of know how that goes together, or you can find a sew along for something similar. But the sizing on the Lacala patterns is really good. Somebody mentioned Blueprint, which is another one that does a similar thing. Yeah, I read that one. Eliza says, I usually just cut them up and use the fabric for quilts. I will pull out patterns for shirts and take a closer look. Yeah, you can repurpose like the button bands and the cuffs and the collars and things like that if you're careful about how you cut them out. But yeah, that's a really good option as well. Rachel Lynn says, Blueprint DIY does a bunch of men's shirt refashions. Stephanie says, I'm pretty much self-taught from YouTube as well. Rotten Rouse says, getting a sewing book is a helpful look at the library. Yes, I have a couple that I highly recommend. The Sewtionary from Sewaholic is really, really good. I don't know if it's in print anymore. More Fabric Savvy I really like as well, because it kind of gives you in-depth information about each fabric type and what it's used for, what needle you should be using with it, what stitch type you should be using with it. That's a really good one as well. You2 Sew says, oh, just looking forward to this trouser video. Just about to cut a muslin for the neater trousers. Amazingly starting with a straight size, although I'm definite pair. We'll see. I think she drafts for pairs. I am very excited to hear how you get on with those, because I love that trouser. They're drafted for a 5'3" or 4 frame, so I'm definitely going to have to lengthen them. But yeah. Eliza says, thanks to Rachel Lynn. I will look. Lisa says, I hope I'm not talking too much. Life has been bloody awful since April and still going on. I live alone and this just feels so wonderful to talk to you guys and learn. I'm emotional, but thanks. Hey, Lisa, that's what we're here for. And chat away, because, you know, it's fun. We're talking about all sorts of things. Stephanie sends virtual hugs to Lisa. Lisa says, I'm fighting to get my grandchildren back from social services and I'm in bits. Stephanie, thank you so much. Many hugs. Many, many hugs. Ralph says, I worked in ready-to-wear shop that make up their own numbers. Exactly. Eliza says, hope life settles down soon to Lisa. Joker Clee says, grog, drinks. Lisa says, thanks to Eliza. The only bra I found that fits me is sold on eBay. I'm a 44B. Interesting. Lisa says, used to be a 38C, that then I became middle-aged. Lol. I mean, technically I'm middle-aged as well, but I definitely didn't do the kids thing. Rotten Ralph says, Joker I'm trapped under 2 cats. I must wait for grog. Joker I laughed at bra sizing, lol. Just because the measurements say one thing doesn't mean it's going to properly fit either. No, it does not. It does not. I bought from the same company, so Wonder Bra. I bought the balconette bra in a specific size. So I bought their plunge bra in exactly the same size, and it doesn't fit. It's the same company. I need to learn to make my own. Lisa says to Rotten Ralph, my 2 cats are currently complaining because they have not had their biscuits yet, and I have my 56th foster cat upstairs. Cute. Makey says, hi everyone, loving today's subjects. I am sewing a pair of pants that I have taken in already 8 centimeters, no finished sizes with Berta patterns. Oh, I'm really looking forward to Berta. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Joker Cleese says, just because the root of your bust is a G doesn't mean you necessarily have a volume to fill an actual G cup, and vice versa. Yep. Katerina Ivanova, that's the one, isn't it, Catherine? We were talking about her on the Hangout the other day. She's got really interesting videos on underwear. So, yes. Catherine says, I wear a size 18 Marks & Spencer's jeans. There's no way I'm only one size bigger than you in the bum. You are. I could only just get the size 16 on. My mum was trying to get me to try her size 12 trousers on at home from Marks & Spencer's, and I couldn't. I couldn't get them further up than here. They would not go. 44 around here, but yeah, size 16. Rotten Rouse says 56th Foster, so much love for you. See, I would just have 56 cats now. I wouldn't be able to give them back. You'd be like, no, they're mine. They're all mine. Again, if I ever win the lottery, I'm not telling anybody, but there will be signs. Lisa says Lekala, so it's Lekala. I used to use them a lot when I did commissions, because I could literally put in people's measurements and then it would spit out a pattern for me. I'd make a muslin and then tweak it from there, and it was usually a pretty good fit. I had one lady who had enormous knockers, like huge, and teeny tiny waist and hips. And I made a coat for her, and I got the pattern from Lekala, and it fit her beautifully. So yeah, I really like them. But the Caroline says Ekaterina Ivanova. Thank you. The instructions are awful. Like, they are not good at all. But the patterns themselves are amazing. G. Gracer says, that's one of the reasons I need to start making my own bras. My root size is significantly smaller than the cup size I need, so I always end up with painful rubbing under the arms. Yeah, it's not good. Rouse says, Reader's Digest sewing guide are easy to find secondhand. Ooh, yes. Mum has one of those. Caroline says to Lisa, it's Lekala. It's spelt like that, except it's an E, not an A. Lekala. Jojo says, oh, Lisa, sending all the loves to you. Lisa says, thank you to Caroline. Caroline says, Katerina Ivanova. Yeah, she's really fascinating to watch, and she's making some beautiful stuff. And she has deceptively big boobies. I mean, she doesn't, but she does have like a big cup size because of the root size, like you were saying. It's again, it's just like standardized sizing is never going to be good for the majority of people, but yeah. Lisa says to Jojo, thank you, got leaky eyes again. Lol. Catherine says, but jeans are different shape and size from all other trousers anyway. Yes. Flor Navarro says, hi from Australia. Just found your channel recently. I have been binge watching. Love it. Ah, there's a lot of waffle, but thank you for joining us. Rotten Ralph says, we can't foster because himself gets attached. Like I say, I'd have 56 cats now. Mum and Dad would hate it. Jojo says, Joker Clee says, for bra making, I highly recommend Porcelain, Beverly Johnson, Oh Lulu, and Liz So's. Oh, and I now refer to this place as YouTube Polytechnic. Lol, yes. Liz So's is an amazing channel. Charlotte says, I'm debating on whether I want to attach a button band neck to bottom already to this dress or let it hang first to see if it drops on the bias. It's a 7-panel 3/4 circle skirt button down dress. So theoretically, the bit that you would attach the button band should have been cut on the straight of grain anyway, so that bit won't grow. It's the biasy bit towards as the panel goes out like that. So this is where your button band's going. So the bottom of your button band here, where your button band will go, that's on the straight of grain, so that won't stretch. The stretch is going to start from about here and go from there. So you should be able to. But if you want to be doubly sure, hang it up. And especially if that straight bit that the button band is getting sewn to, if that straight seam is the one that was cut on the bias, let it hang. Ah, la 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 la. Lisa says, I volunteered for a local feline charity. Up until last December, I was the foster coordinator. Oh, cute. Carol says, I'm sewing a bra now, which I think will fit. After trying for 7 years, had a pattern custom drafted for me, fit in only 3 tries. Nice. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I need to get back to my corset. I do need to get back to my corset. Charlotte says, it's 100% brush cotton. It probably won't. It probably won't drop, but I would still give it a chance to. Caroline says grass and patterns are similar. I find the Grasser sizing charts a little confusing because they are drafted for 3 height types, and then you have to fall within certain measurements for each pattern size. And there's a pair of trousers that I've bought 2 size bundles of because my waist and hips were dramatically different. They weren't just ones, because you get a size either side, and mine were like 3 sizes different. I haven't noticed that it's a plug your details in and get a pattern specifically done for you at the other side one. And the couple of Grasser patterns that I've tried have been very well drafted, and the instructions were okay. But yeah. Lisa says, the only jeans I found that fit me are Next mid-rise straight cut. I always buy pre-owned on eBay. Yeah, the only pair of like non-stretchy jeans that I found that have fit me were the curve ones from Levi's, and they've stopped doing those. But then there was also, it's a lot of money and you have to go to London. There's a couple of the other big Levi's stores that have the tailors in-house, but you can have a fitting service where they'll fit the jeans to you, and usually it fits to your hips, and then you have them tailored to fit your waist. They were the best pair of jeans that I've ever had, and I'm totally want to go back and do that again. So yeah. Rachel Lynn says, have to run, bye all. Have a lovely day, Rachel Lynn. Rotten Mouse says to Lisa, we had taken in a single foster cat and my husband had to be there to meet his forever family because he was angry that they were taking his cat. Oh. Lisa says, I've made a note of Lacala. I will check them out later. It's going to be good to have something else to focus on, a positive distraction. Thank you all so very much. You're welcome. Eliza says, 56 cats? I can't imagine that Chiana would be happy with that. She would. She would make them into her minion army. She'd be fine. No, she would totally not be at all amused with that, but I would be happy. Lisa says to Rotten Ralph, lol, I was the same when my first foster went to his forever home. Gigrosa says, I hope things improve soon for you and your family, Lisa. Jojo says, never mind, Mum and Dad. Chiana would hate it. Your name would be Mud till dinner time anyway. Yes. Yeah. Good Grace says, Good Grace says, yeah, I couldn't do fosters. I too would end up needing to buy a farm because there would be all the foster fails. Lisa says, thank you to Good Grocer. I'm hoping to get a positive guardianship assessment so that the girls can come back to me. They are 4 months old, 16 months old, and almost 4 years old, and I'm 56. That's going to be a very busy household. Box says, sorry for going off topic, but I found my sewing pattern from Lena Hoschek, my favourite designer. It's from 2016 Birder pattern 141. I was very happy to find it, but sewing a Birder pattern will be a challenge. You can do it. I saw the pattern as well. It looks really pretty. I like Lena Hoschek as well. I'm probably saying her name very badly, but I do like her stuff. Rottenrow says, my sister swears by cashmere patterns, but I don't enjoy the lines, so I don't know. Ooh, yeah, they're a good one. And they have a sewing school that you can sign up to as well. Lisa says, I buy most of my clothing pre-owned as I don't like clothing going to landfill. Rotten Ralph says, I wear the Express low-rise jeans because my waist is so very short. So the ultra low-rise look like normal jeans on me. See, even the super high-waisted ones aren't high-waisted enough for me. And our body's funny. Buttons is here. Hey, everyone. Hello. You're home then. Is it that time already? Oh, wow. It's 2:10. 2:10. Yeah. You were talking about a table at 6. That sounds like a really good idea. I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. Joker Clee says, yo, Buttons, what's up? Lisa says to Rotten Ralph, I can't wear low-rise jeans. My muffin top is awful. I had my belly removed a few years back. And Lisa says, hi, Buttons. No way saying hello, Buttons. Rotten Ralph says, high waist is my lower rib. Yeah, I think the one good thing about having a super long torso does mean that I'm super squishy for corsets. That's the one good thing. But it does make buying ready-to-wear stuff an absolute nightmare. But then I sew, so I should just get off my backside and make things that fit me, shouldn't I? So, yes. Guys, we've been waffling for nearly 3 hours, and it's not just because Buttons has arrived, but my tummy is rumbling. So I have to go and put some food in it because I'm hungry. I'm hungry. But yeah. So it's been a really fun afternoon. Thank you very much for chatting away with me and having a look at the muslins and talking about all the things we've been talking about. That's been a lot of fun. And I will see you all next weekend with the backseat drivers of Buttons and Jojo. Whether they'll want to come on screen or just sit over there and heckle, I don't know. There will be a Zoom on Wednesday. Yes, Caroline, I haven't set that up yet, but there will be a Zoom on Wednesday for the Patreon peeps. I am halfway through editing the Patreon exclusive waffle. I have 3 other videos that I filmed yesterday that I need to work on. So there will be a video on Tuesday. There will be a video on Friday. I'm going to work on the Birder Dirndl this week, and that video will be coming the week after. And then there will be the September lookbook, and fingers crossed it all goes according to plan. I'm going to try and keep up with the shorts as well because I have enjoyed that. I know I cheated a little bit this morning by putting out the outfit that I was wearing yesterday, but I was wearing it, so it seemed like a sensible thing to do. I'm not sure I'm going to do an outfit of the day with this one because I've got my hair up. And this is a really pain in the ass dress to get on and off over my hair. I did put the dress on first, then did my hair. So, yeah, might do that. But yes, Zoom call on Wednesday and live hangout next Sunday with Heckle and Jekyll, as Joker Clears has said, in the background, making noise. Because, of course, they will be. But, yeah, let me just finish reading off the chat because there's a few of you that have said things. And then we will call it a day. So Rotten Ralph says, I'm all leg, then neck, with a weeny body in between. Have you seen Family Guy? Catherine says, Cashmere have really clear instructions on how to measure, but you need to be good friends with your measurer. It involves bra off as well as bra on measuring. Yes. Lisa says, I've enjoyed this live so very much. Thank you for making a sad lady smile. You're welcome, Lisa. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Julie Elizabeth says, have a great day, everyone. Caroline says, Zoom on Wednesday. I said that yes to that. Rotten Ralph says, Lisa, post on the Peeps group. Yes, please do. Nimue says, table at 6 is still some time away, so get yourself a snack before we're out of our Chief Waffler. Yes, no, I won't pass out from lack of food. Words are hard. Starvation. What? That's the word. That, yeah. Lisa says, I will, Rotten Ralph, I promise. Joker Clee says, heckle and jekyll, yes. Jojo says, tatty bye, see you all next week. Nimue says, have a lovely week, everyone. And Caroline says, have a fab week. Enjoy your time with Jojo. I will. Thank you very much. It was lovely to hang out with you all today, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.